Gentlemen, let's get this game.
Thank you, Gage. Todd Robinson, Ryan Robinson up in the press box. We unfortunately aren't going to have Bryce down on the sidelines due to it's just too far for our microphone to reach from this way high press box here at Waller ISD Stadium. But a stadium that the Hippos are very familiar with. It's kind of become our second home over the last few years. Seems like we play one or two playoff games every year. The hospitality here is great. The success on the field has generally been very good for the Hippos here at Waller ISD Stadium. And I tell you what, Hippos are going to have to be on their absolute A game and probably play the absolute best game they've ever played at Waller ISD Stadium. They're going to come away with a win tonight against the number 2 ranked Shadow Creek Sharks, who come in with a perfect record, 11-0. In fact, if you go back to last year when the Shadow Creek Sharks played their very first full varsity schedule, this team has lost one game, and that was in the state championship game. So, boy, it's a team that was loaded last year. They come back loaded this year. And here, after we listen to the national anthem and take pause for the moment of silence being had on the field, we will come back and tell you just a little bit more about this Shadow Creek Shark team.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask at this time that you please rise and remove your hats as we honor America. The Alvin High School Marine Corps Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps will be presenting the colors at the south end zone. The national anthem tonight will be performed by the Shadow Creek High School Choir, Poseidon Chorale, under the direction of Frankie Espinoza and Jennifer Gallagher.
Well, we are just about set to go here for this area round matchup between the number 9 ranked Hutto Hippos, the number 2 ranked Shadow Creek Sharks. And again, most of you know all about the Hippos. It's been a great year. They're 9-1 on the season. Certainly a year that a lot of folks thought was going to be a rebuilding year for the Hippos after last year's great team that went out a little early in the third round of the playoffs. Finished the season 11-1. Hippos put together another great season, replacing a lot of those lost folks. Starting with quarterback with Grayson Doggett, and a sophomore, great year he's had. Mekhi Kimball done such a fantastic job at quarterback or at running back. But the Hippos certainly have been bitten by the injury bug this year that they weren't last year, and they've been able to overcome a lot of those injuries up to this point to get to that 9-1 record. And we talk about Shadow Creek and how they started last year playing varsity football, went all the way to the state championship game before they lost their first game. Here they are this year. They followed that up with a current 11-0 record. So they've lost one game in the last 2 years. But you look at this Hippo team, they've only lost 2 games in the last year. So these two teams combined have lost 3 games in the last 2 years.
Yeah, it's one of the premier matchups, or at least it seems to be on paper, in the state of Texas this weekend. And we see a lot of good matchups, especially in the second round, and a lot of times in this District 3, which pairs up the Austin schools and the Houston schools, and we get to see a lot of good football and a lot of really good teams play each other early on, which is unfortunate, because obviously only one team can win, but it's going to be probably the biggest test the Hippos have definitely that they've seen this year, and it might be the biggest test they've seen maybe ever.
Yeah, this team, we were down on the field before the game, and the Shadow Creek Sharks, they come out decked in all black pants, black jerseys with kind of a Carolina blue numbering, and they look from up here and from down there, uniform-wise, they look a lot like the Carolina Panthers, but they also look
players-wise, they look like the
they look like almost
Panthers.
like an NFL football
Boy,
team,
they have
certainly
some
like
athletes,
a college
I'll tell
team.
you what, and a team that's just not only loaded with athletes but future college and maybe professional talent. They have 12 Division I football players on their team right now. Either kids that are either committed or have offers from multiple schools. Just loaded with athletes and talent, and especially on the defensive end. They've put up a good amount of points on the offensive end, but defense has really been where that they have buttered their bread. They come in having given up only 80 points all year in 11 games. To put that in perspective, their defense has scored 77 points this year.
Yeah, their defense has scored 11 touchdowns. They've played 11 games, and their defense has scored 11 touchdowns. Just unheard of for a high school football team to be as dominant on that side of the ball as they are.
Well, and it's kind of one of those cases of, they're a new school, and a lot of kids want to come in and they want to go to that new school. But not only that, kids from those districts, but kids from other districts, kids from all around. This year they've got 17 kids on their team that did not play on their team last year that moved in from other various schools, and that's what winning will do for you. Winning in a new school will do that to you.
Well, and it all starts for them with their quarterback, Chiron Drones, who's only a junior, but he's thrown for 2,300 yards and 33 touchdowns. He's also rushed for another 520 yards and 11 touchdowns, so he accounts for 44 of their 75 touchdowns. But he won't see the ball first. The Hippos will receive the ball first, and tell you, it's going to be really important for the Hippos to try to get something established offensively early on and see if they can maybe show that they can move the ball against this stout Shadow Creek defense.
You got to come and punch them in the mouth as quickly as possible.
Well, the kick is away, and it is out of the back of the end zone. Boy, and they just do everything well. I mean, you look at them, we've watched their films this week. You look at them on paper. You talk about a team that really doesn't show any kind of a weakness.
No.
It's a team like Shadow Creek. Even their field goal kicker is 6 of 6 on all of his field
69
goals.
69 of 73 on PATs. Like you said, I've been looking all week trying to find, okay, what do they struggle with?
Well, okay. So, and I'll tell you one thing, and we'll talk about that when they get the ball on offense. They have put the ball on the ground a few times.
They have. They
also can take it away, but let's see if the Hippos can come out and do something offensively to begin with. Grayson Doggett, of course, the quarterback with Makai Kimball in the backfield. Split one receiver left, 3 receivers right side for the Hippos. Going with a long count early on. Grayson with the handoff to Makai. Starts right, cuts back middle. Picks up about 2 yards up to the 28-yard line. Pick up 3. So the Hippos will have 2nd down and 7. Just underway here at Waller ISD Stadium. Nice night for football. We thought it was going to be rainy earlier in the week, and not much rain at all today. It's a little cool, a little breezy. 2nd down and 7. Kimball lines up on the right side of Doggett. Now he steps forward, changes the play. And I think the Hippos are probably going to be very deliberate tonight with their offense, which is kind of unusual for the Hippo offense. Snap back, little option pay, going to the left side. Doggett cuts it back middle, and he's wrapped up and thrown down hard. Picked up a yard, maybe give him 2 to the 30. It's going to be a 3rd down and 5 situation for the Hippo offense.
Yeah, had some success last week, with that speed option. Hadn't really seen it all year and threw a little wrinkle in. I think Shadow Creek was ready for that one. I'm not sure that we're going to catch them off guard very much. I think it's going to be a lot of alignment and just playing sound football that's going to be able to give us success.
So 3rd down and 5, going with an empty backfield look. Hippos going into that breeze, so you want to try to pick up at least a few first downs before you have to punt into that wind. 2 receivers left, 3 right. Snap back to Doggett. Pressure coming, has a pass. Oh, in and out of the hands. Makai Kimball, he had an easy first down too. Had it at the 34. If he would have caught it, he probably had another 5 or 6 yards. That's a big drop right there.
That's one he's going to want back. And we've seen Makai have issues this season, and especially late with that hand, having trouble catching the ball. And looked like he had kind of turned it around last year. But, boy, that's one that you got to make those plays tonight.
And, yeah, we talk about the Hippos have to play a near-perfect game, and it starts with plays like that right there. Would have been an easy first down. Instead, it's going to be a Brody Bueno punt. Snap back, punt away. Right side, going to be caught across midfield and run out of bounds at about the 46-yard line in front of the Hippo bench. So Shadow Creek is going to have fantastic field position to start with at the Hutto 46-yard line.
Well, not exactly what you needed to do on offense.
No, and you know,
and it's too bad, you know, because it really they could have picked up that first down, and then who knows, you know, get a little bit of rhythm, and if nothing else, keep the ball away and maybe get a little better field position. But here we go, time to see this Shadow Creek offense.
Shadow Creek offense against what's been a fantastic Hippo defense. Of course, they're minus a couple of tough players. Snap back to Drones, rolling to his right, swings a pass out. Nice job by the Hippo defense. It was caught by number 15, Jared Jackson. The Hippos wrap him up for about a 2-yard loss back to the 49-yard line.
Well played there. Tried to run kind of that triple option, almost the spread out triple option those teams like to do, where the pitch man is really the receiver staying on the near the sidelines. We did a good job of extending it out, and Xavier Phoenix was there to make the tackle.
Sharks spread 2 receivers right, 2 left, 1 man in the backfield with Drones. He goes in motion. Drones looking, throwing. It is caught. Nice pass, nice catch at the at the 41-yard line. Tell you what, he threw that into traffic, but his receiver looking for his number 10 went up and got it. That's Greg Hancock. Going to be 3rd down and about 4 yards needed. Hippos had good coverage right there.
They did. He threw it right
Drones
over the top of Jason Vogelpool, and Davian Robinson was kind of there to help clean it up. But, yeah, looking at him during pregame, he does a really good job of just zipping that ball in there and finding those tight windows. He gets it out in a hurry.
So 3rd down, 4 yards needed for the Sharks on their first possession. Blitz look from the Hippos. Now they back off, and Drones steps away, looks over to the sidelines. Swinging a pass out of the backfield, and it's dropped by the Sharks. Tell you, that's close to being a lateral.
Yeah.
Hippos, you might want to go ahead and jump on that just in case. They call it incomplete. It was intended for number 28, Javion Bell, not Le'Veon Bell.
No, I was noticing that earlier in the week.
And the Hippos force a 3-and-out punt.
Yeah,
so good job by the Hippo defense. Now, you got to be careful right here, obviously. Hippos had a fake punt run against them last week by Seguin that went for a touchdown, a 65-yard touchdown.
Hopefully that was a little bit of an eye-opener. Tell you what, I think if he catches that ball, I'm not sure he ever even gets back to the line of scrimmage, though.
Jordan Phoenix stands at his own 5-yard line waiting to receive the punt. Snap is back. Punt away. Boy, a high punt and hang time. Bounces at the 5 and kicks into the end zone. So good break for the Hippos for the touchback. So a good start for the Hippos.
Yeah.
Offensively, they went 3 and out, but we saw that they had a chance. Other than a drop pass, they could have gotten a first down, and then they come out and they do a 3-and-out situation for Shadow Creek.
What that does is not only does it give the defense a ton of confidence, hey, we can hang with these guys, we can stop them. It gives our offense some confidence, like, hey, you know what? We don't have to score every time. Our defense is going to keep us in this ball game. Let's just go out and do what we do and not try to make too many things happen.
Hippos set up 1st and 10 at their own 20. Empty backfield, 4 Doggett, 3 receivers left side, 2 receivers right. Snap back, Doggett looking over the middle, caught. Makai Kimball at the 25-yard line, pick up a 5 yards. Going to give him the 26. Just a little sit-down pattern. I think you'll look for a lot of that, like short underneath stuff by the Hippos tonight.
You're not going to beat these guys deep.
No, not at all. 2nd down, 4 yards needed. Grayson steps forward, changing the play call. Spread 2 receivers right side, which is the wide side. 2 receivers left, 1 man in the backfield. That's Makai Kimball with Doggett. 3-man front for the Shadow Creek Sharks. Hand off to Makai, starts left, goes back right, and wrapped up at the 27-yard line. Gets about a yard on forward progress. But tell you, it's going to be tough sledding for the Hippos, especially trying to run it up the middle like that.
Well, running it up the middle and trying to keep Grayson safe. You know, they've got they're just loaded with Division I talent across the board.
Empty backfield for the Hippos right now. 3rd down. They need 3. 3 receivers left side, 2 receivers right. Ball in the middle of the field between the hash marks. Quick pass right side. Oh, intended for number 9, Josh Gonzalez, and Grayson just threw it a little wide on him, threw it a little behind him.
I think he was expecting Josh to stop there, and Josh was running a slant, but Grayson had to put it behind him. They had their outside backer that was running out towards that flat area and could have probably picked it off if Grayson would have put it on Josh. So
two third downs that the Hippos have had a chance to convert, but they haven't done it. Ventriel Bruno back to receive the punt. Line drive, bounces at the midfield. He bobbles it, picks it up, and fumbles it again, is able to fall on it at the 46-yard line in Hippo infield. So once again, the Sharks are going to have great field position starting at the 46, just like they did last time when the Hippos held them to a 3-and-out. Well, I tell you what, one of the things that their return men don't do is they don't let the ball get past them. They go attack it. Even on those short punts, it bounced. He goes, picks it up, and
they're not afraid to run it either. He's had pressure in his face both times, and both times he says, you know what, I'm going to take this ball and see what I can do with it. I think they've had a lot of opportunities this year just to out-athlete other teams, and, hey, let's just go play some street ball and see what we can do.
So 1st and 10. They're going to mark it at the 47-yard line. Hippo in the field. Been great field position for the Sharks on both of their possessions. Jones with a handoff, running to the left side and still moving forward all the way down to the 41-yard line was number 3, Kelvin Brown. Leading running back for them, 627 yards on the season, 7 touchdowns, also has 2 touchdowns receiving. And he's only a sophomore. 2nd down and 4 for the Sharks, ball at the 41-yard line. Snap back to Jones, quick pass left side. It's got a man wide open at the 30, breaking a tackle all the way down to the 25, still fighting. And they're going to give him the 24-yard line. Boy, they just get out there so quick.
They do, and that was Seth Jones. Seth Jones is a senior. He is committed to Baylor, 3-star receiver, and he's their leading receiver. He's got 28 receptions, 6 touchdowns. They've thrown touchdown passes to 11 different receivers this year, which is kind of amazing.
1st down and 10. Jones off. Down to the 21-yard line was number 3, Kelvin Brown. Now, you mentioned throwing touchdown passes, 11 different receivers. They've had 18 different players score touchdowns this year if you include the defense guys on defense. It's just crazy. It's got to be some kind of a high school record.
You would think. Just kind of looking around, I'm not sure that and I know we say this every week, I don't know that they've probably faced a defensive line like we have. They've got some really big boys down there, but if there's any unit that we can match them with, it's our defensive line.
Yeah, you wish you had Lordsville back there. Hand off to Brown. Bounces inside, then back outside. Crosses the 20 down to the 17-yard line, but flag. It's in the general area of where might be offsides against the Hippos.
Maybe illegal formation, though.
6:11 to go in the first quarter. No score. Hippos have punted on their first 2 possessions. This is the Sharks' second possession. They punted on their first. Officials are discussing it. I think they're going to illegal procedure, and I think they're going to go over to Brad and say, I think you probably decline that, right? And make it 3rd down, and he only picked up about,
I don't know where
2 yards?
No, I think they're going to put
he
about
actually
3rd
did get
2,
down to the
so
17.
You
You're
gotta
right.
take that.
Yeah, you're right.
5-yard penalty and replay 2nd down.
So going to be 2nd down. 12 yards needed. Maybe 13.
And one thing we've seen Shadow Creek do is, they either try to run it up the middle and they try to beat you deep. Those are their 2 things, and one of those we're really good at stopping, and the other one.
So 4th down, they need about 14 yards. Snap back. Fakes a handoff, throwing over the middle.
Flag
it is
down.
Caught. Near the 1st down, it might be.
I think we
just
might
a
have
little
been offside. Well,
I think they had a
know.
motion. I think a guy turned up
Maybe
a little
so.
too soon. See where they mark it.
It's on the offensive side of the line of scrimmage, which usually means it's on the offense.
We'll see. We're waiting the spot. They still.
I don't think they got the 1st down either way.
Well, the official picked the. I don't see the ball down on the field.
He's standing on the.
He's standing at about the 13. I think he's got. Based on where he's standing, I think it would probably be a 1st down.
That official was pointing towards the offense, though, and they're walking backwards. Yeah.
So too many men in backfield.
That'll
Move it
help.
back.
I will say they've had one game this year that was played relatively close, and that was against Foster. It was 24-17, and the thing that stood out to me in that game was they had 12 penalties. They had 12 penalties and weren't very crisp. They had a couple turnovers, not a lot of passing yards, and maybe I think that's probably the way to beat them is just get them kind of out of their game and get them to do things they're not comfortable with.
Well, so far we've seen Drones roll to his right and throw 2 deep passes. Both of them he threw out of the back of the end zone. Probably could be a little bit of a wind factor.
Watching him before the game, they were warming up, going right to left, going into the wind, and he was throwing a lot of deep passes, very good balls, but it's interesting to see now how he's doing going with the wind.
So ball's going to be marked at the 33-yard line. They need the 14, so 4th down and 19 yards. Official standing over the ball. I'm not sure what the holdup is right here.
They're having a conversation with the official.
They split 3 receivers right, one of them way wide over near their sidelines. Straight drop by Drones, has some pressure. He's going to run. He might have been across the line of scrimmage, throws into the back of the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown. I tell you what, he was awfully close to passing that line of scrimmage when he let that ball fly. And I think the Hippo coaches are talking about that.
Standing on the 31 saying, hey, he threw the ball from right here. But
well, he scrambled to his right, and he let a man get behind him in the back of the Hippos let a man get behind him in the back of the end zone. And on the 3rd try of that same play, he finally connects for the Shark touchdown. Boy, you hate to see that. 4th down and 19, and not only you give up a first, you give up a touchdown. Snap back, hold down, kick is up, and it's good. 5:23 to go in the first quarter. It's Shadow Creek 7, Hutto nothing. You're listening to Hutto Hippo Football on hipposports.com and the SHN Sports Network.
Is what matters.
Hutto Family Eye Care has partnered with Hutto ISD for almost 10 years. Hutto Family Eye Care has been the leader and preferred provider of quality vision care products and personalized service to patients in Hutto. Their doctors use only the most advanced, state-of-the-art technology and eye care products available. Give your vision the level of care and attention it deserves. Hutto Family Eye Care on Exchange Boulevard, across the street from the post office.
Welcome back to Waller ISD Stadium, where the Hippos trail 7-0, giving up a 4th down and 19-yard touchdown pass from the 34-yard line. Said you got to be almost a perfect game, and you just can't make those kind of mistakes. Kickoff fielded at about the 4-yard line by the Hippos, Makai Kimball, and he's buried at the 16-yard line. Couldn't even get it back to the 20. You might as well let that one roll into the end zone and take it at the 25.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because it feels like we've played very well, especially at least on the defensive end so far. And
there's been one play that their offense has made, but it was a big one.
Well, and that's what they do. Like we said, they run it short, run it up the middle, and they throw it deep. They've got the athletes to do that, and the quarterback's got the arm to do that, and that's the thing that we have struggled to defend.
Their field position's been fantastic. Hippos, meanwhile, not so good. Starting from their 16, handoff to Makai Kimball, crosses the 18 up near the 20-yard line, giving him 21. Pick up about 5 yards on the play by Kimball. 5:05 to go in the first quarter. Hippos trail at 7-0.
Well, we've seemed to have some success on first down every drive so far with Makai running the ball, and you wonder maybe they just might want to stick with that for a little while.
3 receivers left side for the Hippos. Kimball in the backfield. I'll look for some kind of little tight end release here by the Hippos. Snap back to Doggett. Swinging a pass out of the backfield. Wow.
Oh, boy.
Their defensive back was back there. Number 14, C.J. Brown, was back there probably about the time Makai was catching the pass out of the backfield. He hits him and all the way back to the 16-yard line. So all the yards that Makai gained on first down, he lost on second down, and now it's third and 10.
That's the thing you don't want to do either, is get behind the chains and give those defensive ends time to get back and rush the passer. You got to stay ahead of the chains against this team.
So 3rd down and 10 for the Hippos. Ball at the 16-yard line. Spread 2 receivers right, 2 left. Snap back to Doggett. Pressure coming from behind. Still coming, and I'll tell you what, Grayson throws an interception on a ball he shouldn't have thrown. Intercepted at the 14-yard line. I feel like Grayson was even just trying to throw it away, but threw it to a Shark defender that was right there, went low, picked it off the ground, and boy,
I couldn't tell if Grayson. I think he was trying to hit a guy running across the middle, but
he was also hit about the time.
Yeah, he was being chased down by those two big defensive ends that they have, and was hit right as he threw the ball. And boy, that's unfortunate too, because they had a guy just sitting right there and was able to go low, like you said, and scoop that thing off the ground and pick it off.
So the Sharks are going to start 1st and 10 from the Hippo 14-yard line, and you just can't give this kind of team that kind of starting position. Hand off to number 28, Javion Bell.
Number 28, Javion Bell.
Down near
That does
the
sound funny, doesn't it?
12-yard line. Do what?
It almost sounds like he's destined to be a pretty good running back.
Yeah. 2nd down and 8. Snap back to Drones. Looking left, throwing left. He's got a man at the 5. Breaks a tackle and is going to be knocked out of it. Nope. He got the pylon. Touchdown, Sharks. Well,
we're kind of backed off there and not really pressed up on the receiver, and that's not really something you can be doing on the goal line, giving him 7 yards, and just runs a very easy stop route, catches it, and is able to shed one tackler and get right into that corner of the end zone for his 2nd touchdown of the night.
Yeah, number 17, Seth Jones. Started to say walks into the end zone. He was hit right at the goal line, but he was able to get that pylon for the touchdown. Snap back, hold down, kick up, and good. 3:28 to go in the 1st quarter. Hippos find themselves in a hole, now trailing 14-0. Listen to Hutto Hippo Football on hipposports.com and the SHN Sports Network.
Looking for future leaders we can trust?
The Hutto Family YMCA, proud to partner with Hutto ISD. The Hutto Family YMCA is a center for fitness, family, and community. They provide Hutto residents with a state-of-the-art facility for programs and events that focus on youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. The YMCA works with Hutto ISD to provide an after-school program and other events such as Friday Night Live for middle school students. Check out the Hutto Y or call 512-846-2360. The Hutto Family YMCA. Strength from within.
Welcome back to Waller ISD Stadium. 3:28 to go in the 1st quarter. Hippos find themselves in a hole, the kind of hole they didn't want to be in. We said they couldn't get down to this team early. And
this is exactly what you didn't want to happen.
Well,
right?
and they've kind of made it easy for Shadow Creek.
Yeah,
so
they have,
far.
and really and truly, I think one of the big reasons is because of this wind.
Yep. Yeah, wind is definitely a factor. Shadow Creek has had it at their back, but on that last possession for Hutto, though, Grayson, he was rolling to his right and trying to throw short, got hit right as he did, and unfortunately just threw it into the hands of a defender. And Sharks only had to go 14 yards for that score. They've started, all their possessions have been in Hippo territory, started at the 46, the 47, and the 14.
Yeah, looking at their stats, they average about 400 yards a game, which is a lot, but not as much as you would expect from a team like this, but you're starting to see why they maybe don't get as many yards as they should.
It's their defense.
Where they start the ball.
Yeah, defense puts them in great position. Doggett fakes a handoff, rolls to his right, throws right, intended for Jared Bealey off his hand. So Grayson's a little off, and Hippos, I think the speed of the Sharks certainly has the Hippos probably a little off balance.
Yeah, and I think maybe this quick start by the Sharks has just kind of jarred the focus a little bit and jarred the intensity.
Yeah, you think the Hippos maybe would want to kind of keep it on the ground, keep the clock running, and try to switch this wind situation.
I agree.
But the clock stopped on the incomplete pass. 2nd down and 10, ball at the 25-yard line. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Kimball in the backfield. Handoff goes to Kimball. Starts middle, cuts back right, hit by a couple of defenders, only picked up about 3 yards to the 28-yard line. Well, it is just it's just run.
Where do you go?
Well, what it looks to me like is what we're used to seeing teams running into our defensive line.
You just run into a wall, and we haven't seen that this year, and boy.
We're seeing what other teams see when they run up against us.
The difference is you can't really go over the top of these guys either.
Exactly. Third down and 7. Grayson throwing right side, throws into traffic.
Catch.
Nice catch by Josh Gonzalez. Breaks a tackle, spins out. Oh, that looked like a face mask. Going to give him forward progress to
good
the
catch.
37-yard
good
line.
fight there. Boy, he was lucky, though. He fought off that tackle, regained his step, and he almost ran backwards and didn't get the first down there. That was a good job there. Good job by Grayson finding him. And you wonder maybe that first down will give us a little bit of confidence. And
threw that
some
into
rhythm.
traffic, but he put it right in Josh's hands.
Well, I don't think you're going to have very many trafficless passes tonight.
You're right. The one we did earlier we dropped. First and 10 at the 37-yard line. Handoff to Kimball trying to get outside to the right side. And he is not – it's just going to be hard to get outside on these guys. Flag over where he was tackled. I don't know, possibly a face mask. It is right at the tackle.
Might have been a holding. He was kind of slung down, but I thought they grabbed him around the shoulders. We'll see. Yeah.
Horse collar tackle.
Sweet.
Hey, we'll take that 15 yards.
Absolutely.
That'll put us into Shark territory.
Absolutely. First win of the night.
There you go. So the Hippos trying to sustain a drive here with 2:14 to go in the first quarter, trailing 14-0.
I think take as much time as you can.
Try to flip the field a little bit.
If nothing else, flip the field and
so
make
that
them.
if you have to punt, you're punting with the wind at your back. But up to the 47-yard line and Shark into the field. 2 receivers left side. Grayson fake the handoff, throwing right. And boy, just trying to hit Zane Bolding out of the backfield, but he was all covered. And
he was covered, and boy,
really
Jared Bealey,
he
was running a post route. I think the Sharks were in a zone defense and didn't have anybody in the middle of the field, and he was wide open.
3 receivers left, nobody on the right side. You know, it's not often you see the Hippos line up receivers on one side and nobody on the other. Kimball in the backfield with Doggett. Snap back, option, going to the right side, short side, and, well, that's not going to work.
Yikes.
Grayson pitches it to Kimball. He's running out of bounds at the 49, a loss of about 2 yards. Well, you think, I don't know if you're thinking, you're trying to move their whole defense over to your strong side, but the problem is they're just so fast.
If there's one thing that's not going to work, it's trying to outrun them.
Yeah.
And that's basically what you're trying to do there. Is
one of those 2 guys could run with them. The other one, not so much. Snap back. Could have been an offsides.
I think it was.
Free play for the Hippos, throwing deep out of bounds on the right side, but I think we're going to have an offsides call against the Sharks. Have flags on both sides.
Yeah, and a little bit of extracurricular activities there at the end, and looked like some sort of a late hit on Grayson. Rest were watching it right there, and no flags come out, so interesting. But free 5 yards nonetheless. And you wonder at this point, is this 2-down territory? You got to think.
Possibly. I don't know.
44, 3rd and 7.
Or punt it and try to pin them. 3rd down and about 7 yards needed for the Hippos. Empty backfield for Doggett. Snap back, straight drop, flushed. Could have run, doesn't, throws a pass. Oh, again, dropped by the Hippos. Had enough for the first down and in and out of the hands of Jared Bealey. Tell you what, boy, you've just got to catch those. He had run his route right to the stick, hits him in the hands, and he drops it. And the Hippos are just making mistakes.
It's just a lack of focus, and you don't. I wonder if maybe it's a combination. It's cold outside. I get that. It makes it hard to catch the ball. Maybe they're a little bit intimidated and expecting to get hit, expect whatever it is. But boy, you got to help Grayson out because he is
doing a good job of staying in the
open
pocket.
Guy. Yeah, he's being brave back there, and that's
Brody Bueno with the punt. Kicks at the 18-yard line out of bounds. Well, that's the way you keep them from returning them. Good punt by Brody. Well, they're going to mark it right at the 20. Kind of an unlucky bounce. If he could have gotten a forward bounce, the Shark was going to let it go and probably could have gotten down to inside the 15.
I think if you're punting the other way with the wind, that does bounce forward. But it's a stiff wind. It's probably one of the stiffer winds we've seen this year.
So Shadow Creek will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20, leading 14-0, minute 36 to go in the first quarter. 3 receivers left side, 2 right, 1 man in the backfield with drones. Straight drop, swinging the pass out of the backfield to Brown. Crosses the 25-yard line. right at the 25-yard line is where he's brought down. Again, Calvin Brown, 99 touches rushing the ball, only 6 receptions on the year, so he's not a big threat out of the backfield. But they find him on that one. 2nd down and 5. Snap back to Drones. Handoff up the middle. Good job by that Hippo defensive line.
Well played.
Well, that's like the Shadow Creek defensive line right there. Well, and then they look at that and say, hey, this is what we're used to doing.
Yeah, well, and I think you're probably seeing two of the better defensive lines in the state of Texas, at least in the division in 5A, and not going to be a lot of room to run up the middle on either direction.
3rd down, 5 yards needed. Clock inside 40 seconds now. Really like to get a stop. Jones with a straight drop, being flushed, rolling to his right, looking downfield, overthrows a receiver. Wow, I thought that just for a second, I thought Trey Pinelli was maybe going to have a play on that. Yeah, he was coming in hot.
I think he overthrew even Trey there. But good job, and you know, I think the Sharks got away with a hold there on Braylon Sugg, but boy, he's been a menace so far this game, just chasing him out of the pocket every single time, just flushing him to his right and forcing him to throw on the run. And, you know, it seems like he that's kind of his weakness right now is throwing that ball on the run.
Yeah.
Seems to overthrow just about every one.
Except for the one that was the touchdown. Bad news is they get to punt with the wind at their back. End over end punt bounces at the 40-yard line. Tell you what, I think it might have hit a Hippo. Got to be careful right here.
Yep.
There was a scramble for it. I think a Hippo just didn't get out of the way.
It was Travis Taylor.
Sharks are going to come up with the ball. They sure do. Boy, that is just the kind of stuff you can't do. All he was doing was running downfield to block, but that's where the return man's got to be telling him to get out of the way.
There.
But the ball bounces, hits a Hippo, and the Sharks are able to come up with it at the Hippo 27-yard line. Oh,
that's frustrating. Oh, man.
Just one of those deals, a freak thing where it just touches a Hippo.
Like we said, got to play a perfect game, and we have done just about the opposite of that so far.
So 1st and 10 for the Sharks at the 27-yard line, and Hutto into the field after the Hippos had gotten a stop. Snap back to Drones, trying to set up a screen over on the left side, little bubble screen, kicks it back out to the 25. Pretty good job by the Hippos to wrestle him out at the 21-yard line. Clock is probably going to run down before they can get another ball snapped. 3 seconds, 2, 1, and that is the end of the first quarter. We played 1 here at Waller ISD Stadium. It's Shadow Creek 14, Hutto nothing. You're listening to Hutto Hippo Football on hipposports.com, the SHN Sports Network.
Since 1972, Longhorn Title is committed to serving the real estate needs of Williamson County. Our owners live here, work here, and support local charities and schools. At Longhorn Title, we're large enough to serve, but small enough to care. Visit longhorntitle.com for more information. Go Hippos!
Welcome back to Waller ISD Stadium. We've played 1 here, and the Sharks from Shadow Creek lead it 14-0. And tell you, a game that the Hippos, defensively, the Hippos have really played pretty well. Offensively, it's been a struggle, but there's been just critical mistakes for the Hippos that have given the Sharks multiple opportunities. They'll set up 2nd down and 4 yards from the 21-yard line and Hutto into the field to start the second quarter. Snap back to Drones, straight drop. Now pressure coming up the middle, and Braylon Sugg brings him down. Amir Ward brings him down at the 30-yard line. So first sack of the night for the Hippos. And again, the Hippo defense has been doing their job.
Absolutely.
It's just the offense has been putting them in a bad situation, and then special teams just a second ago put them in a bad situation.
Right. I mean, aside from 3 plays, right, the 4th and 20 that they scored a touchdown on, the interception where they start from the 12-yard line, and the muffed punt.
Right.
Defense has looked great, seemingly outplaying Shadow Creek's offense, but Yeah, just some bad breaks early on.
3rd down and 13. Faking the handoff. Throwing left side. It's got a man on the sidelines. It's caught near the first down. Going to mark it at the 16, and I think it's enough for the first down by about a half a yard.
They got away with a false start there,
I thought so too. Yeah, man turned up just a little bit too quickly. As if they're not fast enough and
right,
they're getting the jump.
They don't need a head start. If anything, they should be forced to wait like half a second.
Yeah, you have to count one Mississippi before you can go. 1st and 10, ball at the 16-yard line, 11:15 to go, just underway in the second quarter. Shadow Creek leading 14-0. Again, it looked like he started early. Drones rolls to his right, over the middle. It is caught for the Shark touchdown in the end zone. Not bad coverage by the Hippos.
Yeah, it looked like Xavier Phoenix was right there, and I couldn't tell if he didn't put his hands out or he didn't see the ball or they went through. I don't know. It seemed like he was in position to pick that one off. And
C.J. Guidry, the receiver, hauls it in. It's his 6th touchdown of the year. And it is a big hole for the Hippos now. You know, you just got to start trying to fight your way back. Snap back, hold down, kick up is good. 11:09 to go in the second quarter. It's now Shadow Creek 21, Hutto nothing. Listening to Hutto Hippo Football on hipposports.com and the SHN Sports Network.
The Hutto Family YMCA, proud to partner with Hutto ISD. The Hutto Family YMCA is a center for fitness, family, and community. They provide Hutto residents with a state-of-the-art facility for programs and events that focus on youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. The YMCA works with Hutto ISD to provide an after-school program and other events such as Friday Night Live for middle school students. Check out the Hutto Y or call 512-846-2360. The Hutto Family YMCA. Strength from within.
Hey, don't miss the UIL Football State Championships on December 18th through 21st at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Tickets are available for purchase now through Ticketmaster. For more information, visit uiltexas.org. Well, the Hippos, I tell you, you look at the scoreboard, 21-0, and you must think, well, this Shadow Creek offense is just running all through the Hippo defense, and it's not the case. Hippo defense really has played well, had a couple of big plays, but they've just been spotting them the ball with great field position.
Just giving it away, and not even through turnovers, like you said, just mental mistakes and those that you cannot make.
Tell you what, onside kick, I don't know if that was intentional, but
we ended up with it.
Yeah, Brody Bueno falls on it at the 42-yard line, so the Hippos are going to start with great field position, but Sharks are just trying to
explain to me how that's not kick-catch interference. He called for a fair catch. You have to give him the opportunity to catch the ball.
Yeah.
Even if it is 10 yards. That ball,
and
Brad's saying the same thing.
Brad's out there saying, hey, he was signaling for a
and it was a little bit late, and maybe that you've got to give the defense time to react to it. I'm not sure exactly how that rule is written, but
and I'll be honest with you, I didn't notice that it was Pooch. I thought the ball was on the ground and there was a scramble for it. 1st and 10, ball 42-yard line. Good field position for the Hippos finally, and I think we're going to have a timeout called by Brad, and I think he wanted to call that timeout so he could give that official a little bit of an earful, saying, hey, these guys don't need your help. And and we do. We'll take any help that you can give us.
Yeah, well, if you want to push some of that help our way.
Exactly.
I think they're going to confer with him and see if maybe somebody else saw a fair catch. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we end up getting this call.
Well, they're over talking about it over in front of Coach LaPlante at the 42-yard line. Hippos would have it 1st and 10 at that 42. Like you said.
That's a 15-yard penalty,
and I didn't see it, but clearly you did, and the coaches that the Hippo coaches that were standing probably 5 yards from it saw it.
Yeah, and again, it was very late, maybe half a second before he was going to catch that ball, and even more so before the Shark defender went up and touched it. And like I said, I don't know how that rule's written, but I know you've got to give him the opportunity to catch the ball, but I don't think anything's going to come of it. No.
Not going to change a thing. Might be one of those they come back later and say, Coach, we made a mistake.
Yeah, well, we'll take a makeup call at some point.
Yeah.
Would have been nice to have it there, though.
Still starting 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Hand off to Kimball. No,
Fumble
Grayson
ball.
fumbles it on the exchange, and the Sharks fall on it. Wow. So you finally have a good starting position on offense, and you just turn it over on the very first play of the exchange.
No. Brody Bueno was in at quarterback there.
Interesting. So Shadow Creek recovers, and just like that, again, they have the ball on the Hutto end of the field.
Just curious. I mean, I guess maybe trying to throw something else out there, maybe get a little bit of a running threat going with Brody. I'm not sure, but, obviously Brody hasn't had the same type of year-long practice handing that ball off and getting that timing down, maybe some miscommunication on where that running back needs to be, and just giving them every opportunity here.
Well, this is where you got to really bow up, and Drone with a straight drop, throwing deep right side. He's got a man wide open at the 10, at the 5, and walks into the end zone for the Shark touchdown. You make a mistake, they make you pay for it. And they don't waste any time making you pay for it either.
Well, some miscommunication on the defensive end. We had two guys about 3 yards away from each other, both covering kind of the middle third of the field, and nobody on that right side of the field, and that's exactly where he found the receiver.
He connects with Jared Jackson for the 42-yard touchdown. Again, one mistake by the Hippos, and Sharks make them pay. Snap back, hold down, kick up. It's good. 10:53 to go in the second quarter. It's now Shadow Creek 28, Hutto nothing. You're listening to Hutto Hippo Football on hipposports.com, the SHN Sports Network.
Our score is
A-Plus Federal Credit Union is a longtime supporter of Hutto ISD. Earn cash back and support Hippo Nation with the student-designed A-Plus FCU Hutto ISD Hippo debit card. When you use your Hippo debit card, you and Hutto ISD both earn up to 10 cents with every purchase. Hutto ISD has received over $71,000 in cash back from A-Plus FCU members since August 2016. Stop by the Hutto branch on Ed Schmidt Boulevard to get your card and start earning today. Membership required, insured by NCUA.
10:53 to go in the first half. Hippos trailing 28-0. The situation, the Hippos, I couldn't even tell you the last time Hutto found themselves in a situation like this. Got to go back a few years. And the Shadow Creek team is all that it's advertised to be, but the Hippos have certainly been helping them out. I mean, they've not had to work for it whatsoever. That's for sure. Deep kick, fielded, bounced and fielded at the 5, out to the 15, 20, 25, 30, and run out of bounds. Drones looking over, trying to change the call. Drones fakes the handoff, keeps it up near the goal line, and crosses the goal line for the Shadow Creek touchdown. Just way too easy for Shadow Creek when you give them the ball every single time, way inside your own territory.
Well, and at some point, you kind of, on the defensive end, you're going to lose motivation, because it's like, what are we – well, why does it matter? Because they're just going to get the ball at the 40 anyway. So, I kind of at a loss.
Snap back, hold down, kick up, good. 7:48 to go in the first half. It's now Shadow Creek 35, Hutto nothing. Listen to Hutto Hippo Football on hipposports.com.
ACDI, Al Clausen Disposal, supports the Hippo Nation. ACDI is a locally owned family company that specializes in solid waste services, including residential, recycling, commercial, and roll-off. Al Clausen Disposal has grown into a top 100 ranked corporation. Their mission is simple. They're committed to providing safe, reliable, and environmentally sound waste solutions at cost-effective rates while embracing new ideas to reduce the carbon footprint. Al Clausen Disposal, your local choice for all your collection and disposal needs. ACDI says go Hippos!
7:48 to go in the first half. Shadow Creek scores again on the Hippo mistake. Hippos.
Well, we've said that a couple times
Snap,
tonight.
well, and we apologize for being off the air. We had some technical difficulties, but while we were off, Hippos were punting, and they snapped the ball about 20 yards over Brody Bueno's head. The Sharks recovered it and took them about 3 plays to score. And the Hippos fumble this kickoff. Finally fall on it about the 14-yard line.
Kind of a weird kickoff. He kicks it and it kind of helicopters, and
and he's kicking it into the wind,
into the
so
wind,
it kind of
and the
holds
ball's
up.
dying. And
Jordan
boy,
Phoenix went on a full-speed sprint trying to get it. It hit him in the hands and bounced off of him, and fortunately he was able to dive back on it. But Hippos are going to have it again. Terrible field position at the 14-yard line, and they just can't catch a break right now.
No,
and they're not helping themselves with
not
breaks
helping themselves.
either.
But a team like this, it's not just us. They force things they force mistakes to happen. They force you to press and to play not your own game, and that's.
Snap back to Doggett, swinging a pass out of the backfield, and incomplete, intended for Makai Kimball over in that left flat, and again had a defender running right with
it's
him.
little things like that. That seems like a missed throw, but really, if Grayson puts that on Makai, chances are that Terrence Cooks takes that and walks it in for 6. So it's just it's tough to find any sort of success or sustained success right now.
Second down and 10 for the Hippos. Ball at their own 14-yard line, 7:41 to go in the first half. You want that clock just to run. You just want to get to halftime at this point. Trying to set up a screen pass. Ball caught at the 15, across the 20, and just nailed as he got to the 20. Should be a flag for a little bit of celebration on that. I tell you what, Jared Bealey was popped at the 20-yard line. Defender kind of got up, stood over him, and did a little tomahawk chop on top of him, and I'm not sure why he didn't get a flag for that.
Yeah, well, that's not the first time that we've seen no flag tonight. So
3rd down and 3 for the Hippos. Good job by Jared just to hang on to it. Empty backfield for Doggett. Snap back. Swinging a pass out of the backfield. Caught by Jared Bealey at the 26-yard line. Hey, let's celebrate every positive right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And those short passes are what they're going to give us. Talking to the coaches before the game, hey, what do they do on defense? Well, they sit back and they let you catch it and they rally up and try to tackle you. So take what you can get and just get those chunk yardage at the time.
1st and 10. Handoff. Trying to power up the middle. Up to the 29-yard line was Makai Kimball. Tell you, I haven't seen any of Michael Mason back there.
Oh, and it seems like we've seen Zane Bolding actually come in place of where Michael Mason usually is, and Zane's actually gotten quite a bit of playing time tonight. And it seems like a game where Michael could actually be very beneficial.
Just try to run over
having
a
that
couple
big
of
body,
guys.
absolutely.
2nd down and 7 for the Hippos. Ball at the 29-yard line. 6:20 to go in the first half, trailing 35-0. 3 receivers left side. And just trying to find something in the middle of that defensive line of Shadow Creek, and there's just nothing to be found. Kimball gets the 30-yard line, so it's going to be 3rd down, 6 yards needed.
Well, and again, I think you've just got to find something short. They're sitting back, like we said, and just waiting for us to make a mistake, really, and just get what you need, get the 6 yards, and try to do this thing over again.
2 receivers split left, single receiver right. Faking the handoff to Kimball, throwing right side. Boy, wrestle for the ball. Nice job by Zane Bolding to go up and get it at the 35-yard line. Going to be a yard short of the 1st down. At this point,
you got to go for it.
You got to go for it, I mean, it's 4th and 1. You need a yard. You're at your own 35, but you've been giving them the ball at your own 20,
right.
25. I mean, so you might as well take a chance here.
Well,
I don't know if this is the punt team or the
jumbo
jumbo package
team's
they're bringing in. Well, I don't understand why at this point you don't just give it a shot, because.
Well, and I wouldn't rule it out. With Brody back there, obviously a fake is always an option, but.
Yeah. Snap back and punt away.
I think
Might be
offside.
fielded at the 30-yard line, running wide side, crossed the 40 and brought down at about the 42-yard line was number 15, Jared Jackson.
Yeah, they're bringing the defense back out.
So it is going to be an offside. Well, that worked out.
Good decision to punt there.
I guess. I guess. So the Hippos finally catch a break. Probably the first break of the night the Hippos have caught, and it comes with 4:46 to go in the first half, trailing 35-0.
And again, I think at this point you got to score just about every single time you have the ball, and maybe when you don't have the ball. You've got to have at least 5 more possessions.
Well, you just got to get a score and get something
started,
positive
right?
to
some sort of confidence going into halftime.
1st and 10 for the Hippos. Ball at the 40-yard line. Kimball in the backfield with Doggett. Straight drop. Trying to throw deep. Oh, a little bit of bumping at the 43-yard line, but no call. Intended for Josh Gonzalez and bumped into a Shadow Creek Shark, but no call.
Yeah, well, had to run through a wall of about 3 of them, and he said, I'm not sure who initiated that contact. It kind of looked like he ran straight through them and maybe tripped over a foot or something, so that's a lot of times that doesn't get called.
2nd down and 10. Grayson with the straight drop, rolling to his right, throw in and overthrows into his intended receiver, Josh Gonzalez, at the 49-yard line.
Yeah, Grayson just with no time right now.
Well, and when Grayson rolls like that, at first you see a little bit of open field, thinking maybe he could tuck it and run, but then you see guys closing on him at about the speed of a train, and he's wise to get rid of it. So 3rd down and 10, ball at the 40-yard line. Empty backfield for Doggett. Steps forward, changing the play. 4:35 to go in the first half. Hutto trailing 35-0.
Well, and again, get half of it here, and then maybe go
give
for
it a shot.
Yeah.
Snap back. Pressure coming up the middle, and Grayson's going to be sacked all the way back at the 30-yard line. First pressure that the Sharks have brought all night, and they get to him before he could get rid of it. So no thought of going for it on this one, as he's dropped at the 31, and it's a 4th down and 19 yards needed.
You say first pressure of the night. They've been bringing 3 all night and getting to him pretty quick. They brought 4 that time.
Yeah.
So not exactly
most
a blitz.
of the other pressures he's been able to step up into the pocket. That's the first one they really had a chance to sack him. So Brody stands at his 20. Punt away, end over end. And finally the Hippos get a favorable bounce, and Shadow Creek's going to actually have to start a drive from their own 21-yard line. 3:44 to go in the first half. So it might be, would this be the first Shadow Creek possession that started in their own end of the field? Have to look back at all of them and see, but there hadn't been many, that's for sure. That's the thing. You look at the score, 35-0, and I bet when you look at their total yardage, they probably have about.
We punted. Remember, we were in there into the field after a 15-yard horse collar penalty, and then ended up punting, and the ball went out of bounds 20-yard line.
Yeah. I bet they don't have near as many yards as you would think, because they haven't had to go real far.
Not up 35-0. Well, they've had 2 drives of 10 yards.
Exactly. Drone swings a pass. Left side. Good job by the Hippos to collapse down on number 2, Randy Masters, after a pickup of about 3 yards. Tell you though, they are just they're so methodical. They'll do a short play here, short play there,
and then
they'll go deep. And and their speed, they'll suck you in, and then they're right by you. With sprinters that they have. 2nd down and 7 for the Sharks. 3:15 to go in the first half. They lead at 35-0.
Well, like I was saying before the game, Kyron Jones, he was throwing a perfect ball into this wind, and you wonder maybe if they're going to try to go deep here pretty soon.
Jones fakes the handoff, keeps it across the 25, runs over a couple of Hippos, and finally wrestled out of bounds at about the 32. You were saying who did he remind you of when you were down on the field?
He looks just like Cam Newton. Going more with the Carolina Panther analogy. Quarterback, number 1.
It was
big, strong, athletic-looking quarterback. And
that play right there, like he could have been tackled for no gain,
twice.
Then could have been tackled for about a 2-yard gain, ends up getting the first down up to the 32-yard line. Just runs over a couple of Hippo defenders.
And then can throw the ball 55 yards.
Exactly. straight drop. Now pressure being chased by Amir Ward. Lets it fly. It's intercepted by the Hippos. Jason Vogelpool at the 30, 25, 20, 15, and run out of bounds at the 11-yard line.
Wow.
So Drones had pressure rolling to his right, let it fly, and Jason Vogelpool jumps in front of it and returns it to the 11-yard line, and finally the Hippos get something to be excited about.
Yeah, and like you said, finally just some life on that sideline and guys getting excited. Boy, just good play by Jason there. I mean, he had a guy open, and it just felt like, hey, this is one that they're just going to catch and run just like they have been. And Jason comes out of nowhere and is able to pick that ball off and with a good return too. And you got to capitalize here.
Credit Amir Ward on that for the pressure and continuing to chase Drones down. So the Hippos line up there. Michael Mason finally in the ball game. Line up two backs, one on each side, Kimball and Mason of Doggett. Handoff goes to Kimball and crosses the 10, fighting forward, trying to get the 9. They'll give him the 9, so pick up of 2 yards. Second down and 8 for the Hippos. 2:10 to go in the first half. Trailing 35-7, trying to get just some kind of positive something before you go into the locker room. Again, they set up with the two-back set, one on each side of Doggett. Steps forward, changing the play. He's got two receivers left side, single receiver right side, which is the wide side. That's Jared Bealey.
Yeah, and usually this is where he likes to look towards Jared, especially one-on-one coverage.
Yeah, a little bit different coverage tonight.
Yep.
Snap back, Grayson looking center. Caught!
Oh, good catch.
Touchdown, Hippos. Josh Gonzalez in the front of the end zone. Steps in front of a shark and hauls it in for the Hippo touchdown with 1:37 to go in the first half, and the Hippos finally are on the board.
Wow.
Take advantage of that turnover.
Talk about throwing into traffic. There were about two
right
sharks
spot.
around him. And yeah, it's kind of like earlier in the game. He just put it right where it needed to be. And, boy, I wasn't sure until the referee called touchdown. I wasn't sure who even had the ball. But good job there by the Hippos actually capitalizing on that turnover. And, like you said, some sort of positive, something positive going into halftime.
Snap back. Hold down, kick up. It's good. 1:37 to go in the first half. Hippos get on the board. Shadow Creek 35, Hutto 7. You're listening to Hutto Hippo Football on hipposports.com and the SHN Sports Network.
Hutto Family Eye Care has partnered with Hutto ISD for almost 10 years. Hutto Family Eye Care has been the leader and preferred provider of quality vision care products and personalized service to patients in Hutto. Their doctors use only the most advanced, state-of-the-art technology and eye care products available. Give your vision the level of care and attention it deserves. Hutto Family Eye Care on Exchange Boulevard, across the street from the post office.
1:37 to go in the first half. Hippos finally get on the board, 35-7. They trail. Comes on the heels of a Jason Vogelpool interception that he returned to the 11-yard line, and they cash it in on the Grayson Doggett pass to Josh Gonzalez from 9 yards out. Well, now it's one of those deals where will Shadow Creek be conservative and just go into the halftime with that 35-7 lead? Or are they going to try to do something and answer that score? They've got 1:37 left, and they have all three timeouts.
And I think a lot of it depends on this kickoff, where they end up getting the ball. And if we can get them in poor field position, I think they're probably going to be content to maybe go into halftime with this lead, knowing they get the ball to start the second half, especially after just having thrown a pick and then giving up a touchdown.
Hippos trying to do an onside kick. Ball's bouncing. Oh, the Hippos had a chance to get it. What a great play, too, as the Hippos was one of those ones where
had two kickers out there. Yeah,
kicker had set it up, and he had turned around and was casually walking back like he was setting up to kick it, and all of a sudden the other kicker sprints up and kicks it, and it took a couple of hops, and a Hippo had a chance to grab it.
Yeah, there were about three around the ball, and that ball seemed to just hang up there for a long time.
I like the call, though.
Yeah.
Like the call.
Gutsy.
Shadow Creek will start off 1st and 10 at their own 43 as they were able to fall on that, but wow.
Well, and shoot, you kick an onside kick, and look at that. You pin them in their own, in their own territory.
Snap back to Drones, handoff to Brown's got running room across midfield, trying to cut back inside 45 and wrestle down at the 42-yard line. Well, 1:29. There's plenty of time now that you know they're going to go down and try to score.
Yeah, and you just got to hope, if nothing else, maybe you can hold them to a field goal here, or I mean.
1st and 10, ball at the 42-yard line. 2 receivers left side, single receiver right. Hand off to Brown, going up the middle. He's got plenty of room across the 35, down across the 30 to the 28-yard line. Wow, now
and
all of a sudden
there's some holes up the middle.
They're gashing the Hippo defensive line when they hadn't done that all night long.
Yeah, and kind of just flaring us out and and leaving such huge holes up the middle.
Snap back to Drone, hand off to Brown, running right side. Wrapped up inside the 25, give him the 23-yard line. Was hit by Jason Vogelpool. 45 seconds to go.
And, they're not exactly, they're not in a hurry here.
Yeah. Probably look for him to start throwing it right here. 2nd down, 5 yards needed. Drone, straight drop. Gets some pressure, scrambling to his left, being chased. Now throwing corner. It is intercepted by the Hippos in the front of the end zone. Travis Taylor jumps in front of that pass. So 2 possessions in a row, 2 interceptions. This one, unfortunately, comes at your own 1 yard line.
1 yard back and get that ball at the 20. But, boy, just doing a good job of making him roll out of the pocket. And the last 2 times he's thrown a pick, he's actually been running to his left. We commented early on in the game he was rolling to his right and seemed to be overthrowing the ball. Now he's rolling to his left and seems to be kind of throwing it behind receivers, and he's thrown 2 straight picks. So, boy, if you're the Hippos, you got to be
careful right here now. Just get positive, let the clock run. Of course, Shadow Creek still has all 3 timeouts. So,
well, and if we don't get a good chunk of yards here, obviously they're going to look to
I think Hutto's going to call a timeout.
No, we had too many men on the field, unless we got timeout in time. Yeah.
Well, probably not a bad idea to call a timeout and say, hey, listen, we got 27 seconds. We got to get positive yards right here.
Well, and then this is really where you really wish you had practiced more going under center. You hate being in shotgun and you're standing halfway back in the end zone, and you've got to try to get that ball all the way out across that goal line and avoid a safety, especially against a team like Shadow Creek, where you haven't had a lot of success running up the middle, and you certainly haven't had any success running wide. This is one where you want to just put Grayson underneath center and say, hey, go forward and see if you can get maybe a yard or 2 and give ourselves some breathing room.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like you said, Shadow Creek's got 3 timeouts. They're going to be looking to call quick 3 timeouts and maybe try to get this ball back with about 15 seconds left and force us to punt and see what kind of mistakes that they can force. Obviously, they've already seen 1 mistake on our punting unit when we were off air, and
So here we go after the timeout, and they do line up under center. And I think they fumbled it. Boy, Shadow Creek is signaling that it's their ball, and I will be dang if they didn't. They go under center, they fumble the snap, and Shadow Creek falls on it at the 1 yard line. Unbelievable.
I mean,
you're better off just running shotgun because you're used to it.
Right. Well,
wow.
And exactly like I was saying, that's where you want to have that experience. Then, because you do end up going under center, especially against a team like this, and everything gets rushed, and you aren't comfortable taking that snap. And boy,
Hippo defense has to rush back onto the field, and Shadow Creek has it at the 1 yard line. You thought you were going to be able to run the clock out, get into halftime. So now Drones will go under center, hands off, and pushing forward. Good job by the Hippo defense.
Yeah, well played.
To stop number 28, Javion Bell, for a loss of a couple of yards back to the 3. 14 seconds to go.
Good job of getting penetration there by our defensive line. They met him in the backfield, and like you said, they were able to stop him for about a 1 yard loss.
Well, and again, you saw Shadow Creek line up and go under center. It's just these teams. You said it. All these offenses nowadays are so used to running shotgun, and they take very few snaps from under center, and then they line up in a situation like that that's pretty tight, and it's like you have to make that exchange. And I'm sure what happened was the center, I'm just guessing, center's probably trying to get a quick jump,
especially when he knows that they're going to quarterback sneak. Well, and the other thing that's worth mentioning is we've got a true freshman playing center, just making his second start,
right.
And so that's
Well, people don't understand. You would think that is such an easy thing to snap that ball back, but
right.
Well,
and it
if
is
you're doing
when
it without pressure.
Practice,
Exactly.
It's a different story when you got a 300-pound guy across from you.
So 2nd down and goal. Drones running a quick little pitch and into the end zone for the touchdown is number 28, Javion Bell. Nice little play. They knew the Hippos were going to be bringing pressure. They did. Ran a quick pitch, and Javion Bell dives into the end zone for the touchdown with 10 seconds to go. And instead of Hippos having a little bit of hope and momentum going into halftime,
crushes everything.
Up or down 35-7. Instead, they're going to go in at half down by 5 scores. Waiting the PAT.
Just an absolutely crushing
snap
turnover.
Back, hold down, kick is up, and it's good. 10 seconds to go. We'll keep it here. 10 seconds to go before halftime. Hippos trailing now 42-7. Yeah, you had something at least to be positive about. You had gotten an interception, you had scored, and then you'd gotten another interception on their second straight possession. You could go in and go, guys, let's calm down. We've got some good things going on right now, but instead you just make another mistake, and it's just been mistake after mistake after mistake. And I don't care who you're playing. If you make the kind of mistakes the Hippos are making tonight, you're in trouble. And when you make them against what I dare say is probably the best team in Texas, if there's another team better than this team,
well, I don't want to see them.
Well, I do want to see them, but I want to see them play this team.
Well, and that's the frustrating thing is you have no idea what this game could be like. I mean, it could very well be still 42-7, but it could also be a tie ball.
Or it could be 21-14.
Right, you have no idea. We've just given them so many. I mean, they've had 3 touchdowns where they've gone a total of like 23 yards.
Right.
And you can't win football games like that.
All right, well, let's see if we can take care of the ball here. 10 seconds left. There's a squib kick. Fielded at the 30 and then taking a knee. That's probably about the safest, smartest thing to do at this point for the Hippos. Number 4. Who was that?
That was Jason Vogelpool.
Jason Vogelpool.
Kickoff fielded by number 23, Jason Vogelpool. It'll be 1st and 10 for
well, and now you got to think, take a shotgun snap, take a knee, and let's just boy.
Yes. Let's see if we can do that.
Let's get into the locker room and see if we can outscore them by 35 points in the second half.
Start praying now. So 9 seconds to go. Hippos are just going to take that knee. They do. And we will head to the locker room. And, again, I couldn't even tell you the last time the Hippos faced something like this. It's, I don't know if that's happened since you played for Hutto. But we have reached halftime here at Waller ISD Stadium, and it has been all Shadow Creek here in the first half. The number 2 ranked Sharks lead the Hippos 42-7 at halftime. You're listening to Hutto Hippo Football on hipposports.com and the SHN Sports Network.
The Hutto Family YMCA, proud to partner with Hutto ISD. The Hutto Family YMCA is a center for fitness, family, and community. They provide Hutto residents with a state-of-the-art facility for programs and events that focus on youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. The YMCA works with Hutto ISD to provide an after-school program and other events such as Friday Night Live for middle school students. Check out the Hutto Y or call 512-846-2360. The Hutto Family YMCA. Strength from within.
A-Plus Federal Credit Union is a longtime supporter of Hutto ISD. Earn cash back and support Hippo Nation with the student-designed A-Plus FCU Hutto ISD Hippo Debit Card. When you use your Hippo Debit Card, you and Hutto ISD both earn up to 10 cents with every purchase. Hutto ISD has received over $71,000 in cash back from A-Plus FCU members since August 2016. Stop by the Hutto branch on Ed Schmidt Boulevard to get your card and start earning today. Membership required. Insured by NCUA.
ACDI, Al Clausen Disposal, supports the Hippo Nation. ACDI is a locally owned family company that specializes in solid waste services, including residential, recycling, commercial, and roll-off. Al Clausen Disposal has grown into a top 100 ranked corporation. Their mission is simple. They're committed to providing safe, reliable, and environmentally sound waste solutions at cost-effective rates while embracing new ideas to reduce the carbon footprint. Al Clausen Disposal, your local choice for all your collection and disposal needs. ACDI says go Hippos!
Hutto Family Eye Care has partnered with Hutto ISD for almost 10 years. Hutto Family Eye Care has been the leader and preferred provider of quality vision care products and personalized service to patients in Hutto. Their doctors use only the most advanced, state-of-the-art technology and eye care products available. Give your vision the level of care and attention it deserves. Hutto Family Eye Care on Exchange Boulevard, across the street from the post office.
The Hutto Family YMCA, proud to partner with Hutto ISD. The Hutto Family YMCA is a center for fitness, family, and community. They provide Hutto residents with a state-of-the-art facility for programs and events that focus on youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. The YMCA works with Hutto ISD to provide an after-school program and other events such as Friday Night Live for middle school students. Check out the Hutto Y or call 512-846-2360. The Hutto Family YMCA. Strength from within.
And now a performance by the Hutto High School Band. Tonight, the band, under the field direction of drum majors Christian Franklin, Kylie Holt, Elena Bustamante, and Macy Watson will play the well-known 80s hit, Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train. back now to the 1960s with a Cliff Nobles chart. Our very own Maggie Kredinsky is our featured twirler for one we know you'll love, the horse. On your feet, Hippo fans, it's time for your Hutto High School fight song. The band is under the direction of Stacy Gist, Michael Harrison, Joe Rush, Tyler Dempsey, and Ashley Wood.
Meet Josh.
Hi, everybody.
Josh is a high school basketball player, solid shooter, great teammate.
Hey, don't forget my tenacious D.
And he's my son.
Oh.
So, what does Josh do to be the best basketball player he can be?
I play tennis.
Studies show that student athletes here in Texas who play more than one high school sport are more likely to excel. Tennis does more than improve Josh's conditioning. It gives him a fresh competitive outlet, reduces the risk of injury by cross-training, and introduces him to different coaching techniques and new friends.
Don't get me wrong, hoops are my first love. Tennis just gives me a little break.
So when the new season begins, Josh isn't burned out on basketball. He's eager to play, and you can see the difference in his game.
This message presented by the Texas University Interscholastic League and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association. This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in Texas. This is sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the Texas University Interscholastic League and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
I loved playing high school sports. I loved the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, all the pageantry, and I wanted to keep playing. But I graduated. No colleges called, and neither did the pros. So, to stay close to the game I loved, I decided to become a high school official. You know, a referee. When I played high school sports, I learned the importance of integrity, good sportsmanship, and respect for the rules. Now, as a high school official, I get to help model these same values to others. Maybe the colleges and the pros didn't call, but the kids in Texas did. And now, I'm enjoying the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, and all the pageantry of high school sports all over again.
Interested in becoming a licensed high school official? Go to highschoolofficials.com to learn more and begin the application process.
Looking for future leaders we can trust and believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Texas. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It begins by making their grades and being on time for practice. It includes learning to listen, following directions, accepting responsibility, being a good role model. And it's about respect for officials, opponents, the rules, and each other. The result? It transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. High school sports. There's so much more than just a game. This message presented by the Texas University Interscholastic League and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
The University Interscholastic League would like to thank its corporate sponsors. Without the generous support of these sponsors, many UIL activities would not be possible. The UIL gives special thanks to Balfour, Baylor Scott & White, Dairy Max, Dairy Queen, Ford, Fox Sports Southwest, Gatorade, Hellas Construction, Max Preps, the NFHS Network, Nike, Register My Athlete, Spalding, and Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. These generous corporate sponsors support the UIL in all its activities, music, academics, and athletics. The UIL appreciates these sponsors and their participation in all that the UIL does in Texas extracurricular activities. On behalf of the UIL and its corporate sponsors, thank you for supporting UIL activities in your community and enjoy the game.
The most important team member isn't always playing in the game. Sometimes they hold a clipboard on the sideline. A good coach doesn't just call plays. They instill confidence in the individual and help the team overcome adversity. At Frost, we believe that good coaching in your financial life can accomplish the same thing. After all, if we believe in you and you believe in you, anything is possible. Frost. Opt for optimism.
Since 1972, Longhorn Title is committed to serving the real estate needs of Williamson County. Our owners live here, work here, and support local charities and schools. At Longhorn Title, we're large enough to serve, but small enough to care. Visit longhorntitle.com for more information. Go Hippos!
hear it for the Shadow Creek Band. The Shadow Creek High School Marching Band is under the direction of Josh Mooney, Diana Garcia, Fred Patrick, Luke Boldrigini, and Devin Greenlee. The Shadow Creek Band is a 2-time area marching contest finalist, a 2-time state honor band finalist, and a 3-time Texas Color Guard Circuit state finalist. This year, the band earned its 4th consecutive superior rating at UIL marching contest with its competition show, Playing with Fire. Let's hear it one more time for the Shadow Creek Marching Band.
A-Plus Federal Credit Union is a longtime supporter of Hutto ISD. Earn cash back and support Hippo Nation with the student-designed A-Plus FCU Hutto ISD Hippo debit card. When you use your Hippo debit card, you and Hutto ISD both earn up to 10 cents with every purchase. Hutto ISD has received over $71,000 in cash back from A-Plus FCU members since August 2016. Stop by the Hutto branch on Ed Schmidt Boulevard to get your card and start earning today. Membership required, insured by NCUA.
ACDI, Al Clausen Disposal, supports the Hippo Nation. ACDI is a locally owned family company that specializes in solid waste services, including residential, recycling, commercial, and roll-off. Al Clausen Disposal has grown into a top 100 ranked corporation. Their mission is simple. They're committed to providing safe, reliable, and environmentally sound waste solutions at cost-effective rates while embracing new ideas to reduce the carbon footprint. Al Clausen Disposal, your local choice for all your collection and disposal needs. ACDI says go Hippos!
Hutto Family Eye Care has partnered with Hutto ISD for almost 10 years. Hutto Family Eye Care has been the leader and preferred provider of quality vision care products and personalized service to patients in Hutto. Their doctors use only the most advanced, state-of-the-art technology and eye care products available. Give your vision the level of care and attention it deserves. Hutto Family Eye Care on Exchange Boulevard, across the street from the post office.
Well, welcome back to Waller ISD Stadium, and we are at halftime, about 3.5 minutes to go before the start of the second half. If you're just now tuning in, you might want to sit down, prepare yourself. Hippos are trailing in such a way that we can't even remember the last time they trailed like this. They're trailing 42-7 to the Shadow Creek Sharks, and here's the crazy thing. If you look at the statistics, Shadow Creek, 42 points, you would think they probably have rolled up 400 yards of offense on the Hippos. Well, it's only 218, which not that that's anything to sneeze at, but 42 points usually means more than 218 yards. But when you start your offensive possessions, when you have 9 offensive possessions like the Sharks did, and 7 of them you start inside the Hippo end of the field, and 4 of them you start inside your
red
opponent's
zone
30-yard line, chances are you're going to score, and you're going to score pretty quickly, and it's not going to take you a lot of yards to do it, and that's exactly what's happened. Shadow Creek has had that kind of success so far tonight. Hippos, just on the flip side of that, have had 10 possessions, and the Hippos have started 1 time in Shadow Creek end of the field. They started at their 11 after a Jason Vogelpool interception, and the Hippos scored off of that. So, you know, Hippos, again, the one time they've had good field position, they've scored off of it. All the rest, they've started in their own end, and Shadow Creek has just been living in the Hippo end, partly due to an outstanding Shadow Creek defense, probably a defense that we haven't seen maybe ever.
Well, and really a kind of a defense we haven't gotten to see tonight. You know, we've been able to see glimpses of them, but for the most part, what's been stopping us is us.
Exactly.
You know, and a lot of that is credit to Shadow Creek, and you know, they force teams to do things they're not used to doing, like we talked about in the first half, and it's no secret that they force turnovers, right? They've forced 15. They've intercepted the ball 15 times this year, and they've forced 31 fumbles, and we're actually on pace to outplay that this game. We've already thrown 1 interception and fumbled the ball 3 times and muffed a punt, you know, and just pretty much everything you can think of to not do, we've done.
Well, and the unfortunate thing is, you know, you look at this Hippo defense, and the Hippo defense has come up with a couple of turnovers themselves, and, you know, you feel like if this game was one that had been truly a matchup of a full rostered Hutto team, you know, we're playing without 5 or 6 starters, have been the last couple of weeks. We don't talk about it, but it's a reality, and not just starters, but you're talking, you know, top
stars,
top players on your team. But, you know, if that Hutto team could be out there, you know, I really feel like this could be a defensive struggle. The Shark offense is very good, but a lot of times they're very good in short yardage situations or short ends of the field because their defense does such a fantastic job of setting them
Hutto
up.
Family Eye.
And sorry about Hutto Family Eye Care. And they do such a great job of setting up their offense. Their offense doesn't have to work really hard. And, you know, it's just been a night that we said going in, you know, the Hippos were going to have to play a nearly perfect game. And if anything is opposite from a nearly perfect game, this would be it. And the Hippos just haven't been able to find. And when they did find a little bit of success, you know, they intercept the pass, they score, and then on Shadow Creek's next possession, Hutto intercepts again. Unfortunately, they intercepted at their own 1-yard line with, about
10 seconds
to go in the first half. And instead of being able to take a knee and just, you know, you couldn't take a knee because you're at the 1, but instead of just taking a snap and just pushing forward, letting that clock run out, they fumble the snap. And then Shadow Creek's able to get another score right before halftime.
Well, you know, 42-7, 35-7, they don't seem very different, right? Both of them seem like a dominating half for Shadow Creek, but mentally speaking, that was huge for the Hippos.
Absolutely.
You know, to get that pick and twice in a row, stop them, turn them over, and we've got, you know, I'm not to say the momentum, but we've got some confidence going in halftime, and it's just a different, completely different mindset. Whereas now you go in, you're down five scores, and boy, it's like, you know, I don't know what you do here. I don't know.
Well,
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, we're set to play a second half, and we'll see. If nothing else, Hippos just need to come out and give it all the effort they have and walk away with chins held high. But we'll get this started with a high pooch kick fielded at the 30-yard line across the 35 and returned up near the 40. So for only the third time tonight, Shadow Creek will start a possession in their own end of the field. As we get underway here in the third quarter, Shadow Creek leading at 42-7, and you wonder if the Sharks will, you know, get conservative and do more kind of keep it on the ground kind of stuff, or you know, exactly. So we'll see.
Well, and here's what you got to worry about too with the Hippos is guys trying to do too much and make a big play, and a lot of times that's when assignments get missed, holes get big, guys get left wide open, and, you know, a lot of times when you're trying to do too much, that's when too much gets done.
Yeah, good point. Snap back to Drones, going to keep it across the 40-45 and run out of bounds near the 48-yard line over in front of the Hutto bench. He hasn't kept it a whole lot of times tonight. When he has, he's thrown it. You know, he came into the game with 529 yards rushing.
Right. That was before the game thinking that's going to be one of the keys. Hey, if we can just stop him from running around, we're probably doing something we're doing something all right. And for the most part, we have. But, boy, they've found other ways to beat us.
Second down and 1. Drones hands off to Brown, and he's met at the line of scrimmage. Good job by Braylon Sugg and Amir Ward, tackling him for no gain at the 48-yard line. So it'll be third down and 1 for the Sharks. Just underway here in the second half. Hippos trailing 42-7.
Brought down by number 6, Braylon Sugg, and number 11, Amir Ward.
Yeah, and in a different feel, even just coming right out of halftime. A lot slower, a lot more methodical, and very patient.
Hand off to Brown, running left side, crosses midfield, 45, kicks it back outside 40. He might not get caught. 20, 10, 5, and touchdown in front of the end zone. So Brown took a handoff left side, found a hole, got the sideline, and takes it all the way.
Yeah,
52 yards for the Shadow Creek touchdown on their first possession of the second half.
Made 2 great cuts, one to make a guy miss on the inside, and then one to make Xavier Phoenix miss on the outside. And, yeah, at that point he was off to the races, trying to be chased down by Diego Hippolito, but that's a little bit of a mismatch.
That didn't take long.
Nope.
Snap back, hold down, kick is up. It's good. 11:05 to go in the third quarter. Shadow Creek 49, Hutto 7. Listen to Hutto Hippo football on hipposports.com and the SHN Sports Network.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in Texas. This is sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the Texas University Interscholastic League and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
Shadow Creek scores on their very first possession of the second half, stretched their lead to 49-7. Just underway here in the second half. Appreciate all the folks listening back at home. Couldn't make the trip. Give some shout outs here as we get going in the second half. Certainly want to give a shout out to Wendy Rickey, one of our great teachers in Hutto ISD. She is listening along with her daughters, Kaylin and Rihanna. I hope y'all are still listening, Wendy. We hope folks will stay with us.
Well, we'll try to make it entertaining.
The second half, yeah. High kick going to be fielded at the 23-yard line. And tell you, if you hesitate at all against this Shadow Creek team on a return game,
instant.
Yeah, they're just going to bury you. It's like pick where you're going to run and just go. And Travis Taylor fielded at the 25, stumbled a little bit, and was quickly brought down at the 29.
So I've got an idea. You know, we've pretty much all game, hey, Hippos can't do this. One thing you can't do this, can't do that. And they seem to be doing everything. So tell you what you absolutely cannot do here is you just cannot score a touchdown if you're the Hippos.
Little reverse psychology. Hippos running out a little wildcat. Kai Kimball takes the handoff. Boy, gets hit at the 30, bounces off of a tackle, and tell you, it would have been better off to go down because they would have given him forward progress to the 30 instead. He bounced off of that and ends up being tackled for a loss at the 27. Well, I guess they decided to try something a little different, doing the wildcat
and
thing.
Again, speed is not how you're going to beat this team.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't know how you do. I don't know what you mismatch this team on, but
I don't know. A college team.
No.
Second down and 12. Snap back to Grayson. Straight drop. Looking right, throwing into the Shadow Creek bench.
Yeah, a little bit of a miscommunication there. It looked like by the receivers down there, Josh Gonzalez and Tyler Carnes were a little bit confused. Not that it would have mattered because, like you said, that ball sailed about 5 feet out of bounds.
So third down and 12, 10-14. The bad news is incomplete passes. The clock stops. Yep. At this point of a game, you just want that clock to run.
Yeah, let's get a running clock.
Yeah. We are usually on the opposite side of these kinds of games, so sometimes you got to know what it feels like. Third down and 12. Grayson straight drop. Now looking to his right. Now still looking, and nice passing catch.
Yeah.
He kept waiting for Josh Gonzalez to break open. He never really broke open, but Josh threw a little back shoulder.
That's communication that just kind of builds all year. You know, Josh kind of has a feeling that Grayson's going to put that ball up and just give him a shot, and he knows exactly when to stop. And he's done a really good job this year of making those catches and making sure he's getting 2 feet in bounds. So there you go. First down, moving the ball.
So first down at
just
the
what you can't do.
At the 43-yard line for the Hippos. Snap back to Doggett. Fakes a handoff. Pass slant. Caught.
Go,
40,
Josh.
35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, and brought down just short of the end zone at the 3-yard line. He was giving it all he had against the track team that's Shadow Creek, but nice play by Josh Gonzalez. Grayson found him on a slant, and then he cut it back to a right, and Josh showing some very admirable speed running with the Sharks.
Yeah, thought he was going to get in, and he was
high stepping.
Yeah, he was running as fast as he possibly could.
Like being chased by a shark.
Well, that's something.
Land shark.
That's something this defense does not give up a lot of, is the big plays.
So first and goal for the Hippos at the 2-yard line. Doggett with Kimball slid up in a slot over on the left side.
Try to
Be
run
a little
Grayson
inside
left here.
handoff.
Yep.
Grayson running to his left. He's
Got
got Mackay. Caught front of the end zone. Touchdown, Hippos.
I told you they couldn't do that.
There you go. You need to stick with that negative thinking. So touchdown, Hippos. Nice play right there.
Yeah.
All set up on the play before by Josh Gonzalez after he took that slant pass.
Well, and you know what's the disappointing thing is you see a drive like that, and it proves that, you know, we can move the ball against them and we can hang with them, and it just makes it all the more frustrating how many times we just kind of gave it away in that first half and really let that first half put us out of this game.
Evan Gutierrez on to attempt the extra point. Snap back, hold down, kick is up. And it's good. 9:51 to go in the third quarter. It's now Shadow Creek 49, Hutto 14. Listen to Hutto Hippo Football on hipposports.com and the SHN Sports Network.
The most important team member isn't always playing in the game. Sometimes they hold a clipboard on the sideline. A good coach doesn't just call plays. They instill confidence in the individual and help the team overcome adversity. At Frost, we believe that good coaching in your financial life can accomplish the same thing. After all, if we believe in you and you believe in you, anything is possible. Frost. Opt for optimism.
Welcome back to Waller ISD Stadium. Hippos with a quick score on their first possession of the second half. It was set up by a 58-yard touchdown reception, or not touchdown, but reception by Josh Gonzalez. Took a slant pass, took it all the way down to the Shadow Creek 2-yard line, and then Mackay Kimball takes a little swing pass from Grayson Doggett. Gets into the front quarter of the end zone for the Hippo touchdown.
Yeah, and the Sharks are lining up thinking we're going to onside kick this. I don't think we will. There's a lot of space around the 30, 20-yard line. Maybe just try to put it there. And
caught at the 32. And whistles blow. I think he's
fair catch.
Which
we're going to get a flag for delay of game. Yeah.
You can't run with it after you fair catch it.
Well, and that's hard, too, because like we saw last week, the guy to catch the ball was not the one that called for the fair catch. And, you know, he has no idea. But, again, you can't take that fair catch and run with it. That becomes a safety issue for everybody involved.
So Shadow Creek starting field position in the first half. Listen to this. They started at the Hutto 46, the Hutto 46, the Hutto 14, the Hutto 27, the Hutto 42, the Hutto 19, their own 21, their own 42, and the Hutto 1. Kind of makes things a little easier, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's hard to not be winning at that point.
But two possessions here in this half. They've now started in their own end of the field.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, with 9:48 to go, the one thing you can't do if you're Hutto is stop them here.
Well, yeah. You just at this point, you're going with the complete reverse psychology.
1 for 1 so far.
Yep.
But, yeah, a stop here would really be detrimental.
I hope people listening really understand what you're doing. Jones takes a snap, hands off to Brown running right side, crosses the 30 up near the 35-yard line. Oh, that wasn't Brown. That was number 28, Javion Bell. Javion Bell came in with 753 yards rushing on the season, 11 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's been their leading back all year, and interestingly enough, we haven't really seen him a lot tonight. Not that we've seen haven't seen a lot of their offense in big chunks, but especially Javion Bell. Boy, it's hard not to say Le'Veon.
It is really hard. Second down and 2, put a man in motion from right to left. He turned up too soon, probably not going to get a flag. Heavy pressure, and Drones trying to get away from it. It's got a man in the flat, and he bobbles the ball. Can't haul it in near midfield.
Thank goodness, too, because he had nobody behind him.
He was wide open. I tell you, as far as Drones ran, I thought surely he would pass the line of scrimmage. But he hadn't.
Well, yeah, or so they say. I don't know. There's been a few plays this game so far where it seems like he's well past that line and before he releases the ball, but haven't gotten that call yet. One of those was a 60-yard touchdown pass.
So third down, 2 yards needed. Handoff and tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Great job by the Hippo defense to get penetration and bring down running back number 28, Javion Bell. And this will be the first punt of the night, I believe, for Shadow Creek.
No, second. First one we muffed.
That's right. We muffed the first one.
Just like I said, couldn't afford to stop him there. And what do you know? Stop him.
So what do we do this?
2 for 2. Well, I don't want to use it all up.
Okay. Yeah, save some.
Yeah.
Phoenix stands at his 32-yard line. Snap back. Boy, look how fast those
get out of the way. Get out of the way.
Ball kicks right across midfield at the 45 and actually takes a Hutto roll. Going to be killed at the 45-yard line. The Hippos will set up 1st and 10 at their own 45-yard line.
Well, I mean, got a chance to cut into the lead you had at or the deficit you had at halftime. You know, we make it 28, make it a 4-score game, and you know who knows? But well, I tell you what, if we score here, we're in a deep hole.
8:11 to go in the third quarter. Hippos trailing 49-14. 3 receivers left side. Kimball in the backfield with Doggett. Doggett rolling to his left, throwing left. Got a man, Jared Bealey. Only picked up about 3 yards up to the 48-yard line.
Well, and one of the things you and I talked about at halftime was we've got a lot of receivers out there, you know, and really against this defense, there's not a lot of time to look at 5 receivers, and you think maybe we got to bring some other people in to protect. And what do you know? They seem to have kind of changed that in the second half, and we're going 2-3 wide every time.
2nd down and 7, ball at the 48-yard line. Yeah, obviously we can't even begin to stress how much the Hippos miss Dejon Harrison and Jay Lambert. You know, I mean, 2 of their top receivers that they lost a few weeks ago. Doggett throwing over the middle. That's got to be a flag.
I don't know how you don't call that. Right in front of him, he's just getting Zane Boulding just getting
came out of the backfield at the 45-yard line. Shadow Creek into the field. It was just being completely swallowed by a shark, and the pass was intended for Zane, and no flag.
Yeah,
wow,
that's brutal.
I think that's one of those where
and running,
Brad's just kind of like, what?
Running right at the referee too. He's staring right at it and just draped all over him.
Goodness.
I think these might be the Liberty Hill refs.
Wow. That was about as blatant as it could be. Empty backfield for Doggett. Gets pressure, throwing left side. Dropped.
Yeah.
He was going to get hit hard.
Get
Trey
drilled.
Pinelli was trying to haul it in at the 50-yard line, but he had a man, I think it was number 13, Colin Morrell, that was closing on him.
And Grayson took a shot there, too, at the end.
But unfortunate the play before that we don't get the offensive or the pass interference call because, you know, the Hippos would have had a 1st and 10 at the Shadow Creek 45.
Yeah, and I'm with you. If I'm Brad, I'm like, look, we need all the help we can get here.
Yeah, we just need you to call the right plays. Just call a penalty when there's a penalty. Brody Bueno with the punt. Line drive angled at the 20-yard line. Nice job. Rolls inside the 10, inside the 5.
Get in front of it.
And killed, killed inside the 1.
Tell you what,
that one. The nose of the ball is almost touching the goal line. He's done that twice.
Between he and Brock, they have pinned him as far deep as you possibly can pin him 3 times this year.
So Shadow Creek is going to this will hurt their average starting field position for the night.
That's unfortunate for them.
Start at their own 1-yard line. So 3 possessions in a row now. They've had to start in their own end of the field. And this time, he had originally marked it where the nose of the football was almost touching the goal line. Now he brings it out to the 1. Not sure why he changed his mind.
Yeah, it feels bad for him.
Yeah. Should feel bad for not calling an interference call a while ago, too. All right, so 7:45 to go in the third quarter. Hippos trail at 49-14. It'd be nice to get some kind of penetration, maybe get a safety and, you know.
Force a hold or something in the end zone.
Snap back to Drones in his end zone, throwing deep out of his end zone and sidelines. Oh, my gosh. Now they come with an interference call. Wow. Ball was first of all, it was uncatchable. He threw it into his own sidelines.
Well, and the receiver never turns around.
The receiver
for
never
the
turned
ball.
around. The defensive back and receiver were running side by side.
And right on the Shadow Creek sideline, too, and you wonder
Number 4, Travis Taylor. The only thing is, unless he's going to call offensive pass interference. Wow. That's just awful.
Well, and if that's on the Hutto sidelines, I don't think that gets called. That's oh, boy. That's 2 brutal no call or called pass interferences in the past 2 plays. That
Oh, my gosh.
Just killer.
Hippos don't get a call, and then they get a call that's just awful. So 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line after that mark-off. Drones being chased by Landon Watson. Lets it fly.
Gosh.
Almost intercepted. Number 2, Xavier Phoenix, had it in his hands and
that
would
he
have
was
just
going to walk in
walked
for
into the
6.
end zone.
Oh, my goodness.
But as the theme of the night for the Hippos of just not being able to make the play and falls incomplete.
Man. I mean, Drones is putting it where we can catch the ball. He's not being conservative with it. And
first time he's had Landon Watson in his face all night.
Yeah, I was about to say, first time we've called Landon's name all night.
Drones hands off. Running up the middle was number 28, Javion Bell. So Brown was their workhorse in the backfield first half. They're going with Javion Bell here in the second half. 3rd down, 6 yards needed, 7:15 to go in the third quarter. Hutto trailing 49-14. Give a shout out to Lynn Gutierrez. I love her positivity. Said, you still have time.
That's technically true.
Anything's possible. Snap back to Drones, looking right, throwing right, and
dropped. Yeah.
This time they drop it. Intended receiver was number 17, Seth Jones. And going to be another punt situation for Shadow Creek. Well, we'll tell you, the Hippo defense has at least come out and said, hey, we're going to keep playing.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same
the
thing.
last second ticks off.
There hasn't been any give up, which is, that's good to see, and it speaks highly of not only our players but our coaching staff too, of getting them in there and getting after them and making sure that they don't give up. Right? Why not give it all your effort for the next 20 minutes and see what happens?
Phoenix stands at midfield. Punt away again. End over end punt. Field. Oh, he bobbles it. Oh, my goodness. And I think he was able to fall on it.
Nope.
Shadow Creek comes up with it.
Well,
Xavier Jordan tried to he did the smart thing. The ball was bouncing. He tried to get in front of it and not let it get past him. But when he did, he bobbled it, and there was a shark to fall on it, and Shadow Creek's going to take over at the Hutto 43-yard line. So, boy, you just compound.
Just
mistake. You make plays, and then you make a mistake, and
just so frustrating.
So now Shadow Creek will have it at the 43-yard line. Drone handoff. Busting up the middle. Up near the 30-yard line was number 3, back to Kelvon Brown.
And you see that so often. A team's trying to claw back, and finally they make that crucial mistake, and that just seems to be kind of the nail in the coffin.
Yep.
And all that energy that they've spent now is kind of all for nothing. And boy, just mistake after mistake, and you just can't do that.
1st and 10 at the 31. Drone handoff to Brown, and he's wrestled down by Braylon Sugg for a loss at the 32-yard line.
They might want to block him.
Move, Braylon.
Yeah. I think they've kind of neglected to block him all night, and he has been active.
Well, and as a senior, he's just a junior.
No.
That's right.
Hey, man,
he'll be back. Landon will be back. But the kids that are seniors, it's like you just want to leave everything you've got out there. Drones with a straight drop. Throwing deep. Left side. Got a man wide open, but overthrows him. Wow, he had gotten 5 yards behind the Hutto defenders. That was number 9, Joaquin Middleton. And fortunately, Drones overthrew him.
I guess it's not just with the wind that he overthrows the ball.
Jones is passed it for number 9, Joaquin Middleton.
And so talk about wide open, too.
3rd down and 11. My weekly shout out to my mom, your grandmother in Wichita Falls, who's listening faithfully, and sometimes she hears what we're saying, and gets as intense as we do.
Maybe more so.
Yeah. Straight drop by Drones. Pressure. Now flush to his right and going to be sacked.
Well played.
The 35-yard line, 36-yard line. Good job by the Hippo defenders. Looked like Amir Ward and Tyler Kelly in on the tackle.
Yeah, it looked like he might have bobbled the snap a little bit and maybe threw off the timing. I think he was trying to get rid of that ball pretty quick. He was looking left side over here to Seth Jones, number 17, kind of his main man tonight. And, he had to tuck that ball and try to find a crease. And good job by the Hippo defenders to bottle him up. And like we said, we've done a great job of keeping him from running tonight.
So Shadow Creek will punt again.
Just get it out of the way.
And takes Shadow Creek bounce, killed at the 6-yard line, 7-yard line. Well, the good news is that the last punt bobble didn't harm the Huttos in terms of Shadow Creek scoring, but it harmed the Huttos in terms of field position, of course. So now Hutto will start from their own.
And you need every second you can get, and that extra 2 minutes that takes off the clock, and not to mention the amount of time that it could potentially take us to get back to where, it's just a compilation of. And Shadow Creek's perfectly content at this point just to keep trading punts with us.
1st and 10 for the Hippos at their own 7-yard line. Doggett with Makai Kimball in the backfield. 2 receivers right side, single man left. Hand off to Makai, trying to pick a hole. Gets it up to the 10-yard line, pick up of 3 yards. And I think they've really been, and really, to be honest, coming into this game, I said they're going to be so keyed on Makai Kimball. If they stop Makai, then, they're really putting a lot of pressure on us, and for the most part, they have shut Makai down running the ball. He's caught a couple out of the backfield.
Yeah, and talking to the coaches before the game, they knew that they weren't going to be able to just rely on Makai this whole game, that they were going to have to – other people were going to have to make plays, and so far that's kind of been the only source of offense has been other people making plays.
2nd down and 7. Bad snap, and Grayson has to fall on it at the 4-yard line. Boy, bad snap, but Grayson probably has to he would be the first to say he's got to be able to kind of reel that one in. It was a little off to the side, but
it's just
got off his hand.
Well, and it's just everything's happening so much faster than they're used to. And
it just puts pressure on you when their speed is making you react a little faster than you're used to reacting. So 3rd down, 13 yards, needed 3:40 to go in the 3rd quarter. Hutto trailing 49-14. Well, yeah, it's like, what do you do here?
Just throw it up.
Or just hand off on a draw play. Kimball across the 5, gets it back up near the 10-yard line. And
I mean, I guess you punt it here?
Yeah, you have to.
Drawn down by number 11, Jeremiah Harris.
So, again, just another mistake. And so many of these are mistakes that when you look at statistics, you're not going to see them. They don't show up. Bobbled snaps, things like that don't
just
show
up in the rushing,
Yeah. But, you go back, and if you could write down all of the little things, these things just make such a difference over the course of a game. So, Brody Bueno stands at his own goal line. Snap back, just a shank putt. Wow. Hits at the 30-yard line and kicks out of bounds.
And we got away with a big-time hold, too. We're probably lucky, A, that wasn't blocked, and B, the reason it wasn't blocked is because we tackled a guy down to the ground. I think maybe these referees are probably kind of thinking the same thing everybody else is hey, let's just go ahead and get on out of here.
So Shadow Creek will continue to
yeah, this will help their starting field position.
Great starting field position as they will start at Hippo 29-yard line with 2:49 to go in the 3rd quarter. Hippos trailing 49-7 or 49-14. Give you some score updates here in just a moment of some other teams around our area. There's one really big surprise. Javion Bell takes the handoff down to the 25-yard line.
Number 28, Javion Bell on the carry. Brought down by number 23, Jason Vogelpole.
I think that announcer likes saying Vogelpole.
That'll bring up a 2nd down and 7 for the
So
Sharks.
2nd down and 7 for Shadow Creek, 2:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. They're taking their time, which is probably fine with everybody at this point. Good little Hutto crowd. Not our normal Hutto crowd for a playoff game, but it's a good one.
It is.
Across the way. You know, you figure it's the first, really, it's kind of the first day of the Thanksgiving break. You know, some folks head out of town immediately when school's out on that this day, and it's a trip to Waller. It's anyway, lots of reasons for people not to come, but a good number of folks that did show up. One that didn't make it was my wife, your mother, Katie, who's listening back at home. And knowing her, she's still tuned in. She hasn't given up on the Hippos. They're down in 6.
Well, there is still time.
That's true. Drones swinging a pass, right flat, caught by Javion Bell, wrestled down at the, should have been at the 20, but they're going to give him the 19, which is exactly what he needed for the first down, I think. And
convenient.
Let's see. It's going to be maybe close enough to measure, or they might decide to give him the first. Yeah, he got a very generous spot on that one. It's basically his knees were down at the 20, and he leaned forward, and so they went ahead and just placed the ball at the 19. Well, you got some scores while they're measuring for the first down.
Well, the only one in our district that's it's still going on, but you can consider it final, is Manor is up 38-0 over I'm blanking on the Porter. So, you know, at least kind of crazy, right? You know, the 4th team in our district.
Yeah.
This is going to end up making it farther than we are. 4th team in our district, they aren't going to have to play Shadow Creek until I guess it would probably be the regional finals, right?
It's just the crazy way that sometimes playoffs line up, right? It's like we've kind of laughed all week and said we would have been better off finishing 3rd or 4th in our district than we would have finishing 2nd.
Yep.
Obviously, would have been better off finishing 1st. But, it's just funny the way that happens. You've got – here we are, the 2nd week of high school playoffs. You know, you still have 3 weeks after this before you get to the state championship. 2nd week of playoffs, and you have 4 matchups of top 10 teams in 5A divisions 1 and 2.
Well, and it's just kind of
was just short of the first down, so they need about a foot. Drones goes under center, and he fumbles it, and the Hippos, oh my gosh. Unreal. The Hippos had a chance. The ball was on the ground, and the Hippos had a chance to bend down and pick it up. You know what? I think they're going to say maybe his knee was down. The Hippos had a chance to pick it up. They whiff on it, and number 28, Javion Bell, picks it up. So Hippos will take over after the stop, but kind of replay what that just had. So Drones went under center, and, of course, we've talked all night. These shotgun teams go under center, and oftentimes they fumble. Sure enough, ball was laying on the ground, and a Hippo, I think it was
Braylon Sugg.
Braylon Sugg had a chance to pick it up, but he whiffed on it, and then Javion Bell, the back, came in, picked it up, and ended up carrying it forward for about, 7 yards. But the ruling is only the fumbling player
on 4th down.
Down can pick up the ball, which that would have been the quarterback. So it'll go over to the Hippos.
The purpose of that rule, is to prevent guys, if they're going to be short, of just dropping the ball on purpose and, hey.
So Makai Kimball takes the handoff, gets outside to the 25, runs out of bounds at the 29-yard line. So a good job by the Hippos, slow developing
and it's
against a team that has so much speed.
Speed and size, and it's hard to block them on the outside, and their defensive ends are able to, we haven't talked very much about those defensive ends. One of them is a 4-star recruit committed to LSU. The other one is a 3-star recruit committed to Kansas State, so – boy, not a lot of speed out there.
3rd down and 3. Doggett rolling to his left. It's got Trey Pinelli. It's going to be enough for the first down up to the 34-yard line. Clock runs. 17 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter.
You kind of want to
at least throw one while the wind is at your back, right? Try to get something down the field.
But again,
they're about to run that clock again.
Who is going to beat them downfield, though? So
true. Josh Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Clock running inside of 10 seconds now. 1st and 10 for the Hippos at the 34-yard line. Get a snap off here, guys.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to.
You just wasted 17 seconds to at least run a play with the wind at your back. Clock runs out. We've reached the end of the third quarter. It's Hutto 14, Shadow Creek 49. You're listening to Hutto Hippo Football on hipposports.com and the SHN Sports Network.
The Hutto Family YMCA, proud to partner with Hutto ISD. The Hutto Family YMCA is a center for fitness, family, and community. They provide Hutto residents with a state-of-the-art facility for programs and events that focus on youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. The YMCA works with Hutto ISD to provide an after-school program and other events such as Friday Night Live for middle school students. Check out the Hutto Y or call 512-846-2360. The Hutto Family YMCA, strength from within.
Welcome back to Waller ISD Stadium. Getting ready to start the fourth quarter, and it has been pretty much all Shadow Creek tonight here in Waller. Hippos have had a couple of moments, but boy, they've just given away a couple of, or more than a couple of moments too, of just, you know, unfortunately have made too many mistakes against a team that very well could end up being a state champion team, these Shadow Creek Sharks. Hippos trying to run a little reverse, running to the right side. Jared Bealey throwing it complete to the 40 and run out of bounds is Josh Gonzalez at the 46-yard line. Well,
crazy enough, you run all that and you get 14 yards, you know.
Getting up for the first down.
Moving the ball. Good throw there by Josh Gonzalez too, or was that was Jared Bealey that threw the ball?
Took the reverse, and
I guess
found Josh on the right side.
Kind of the reserved quarterback on the team. Obviously,
Right.
he was the backup last year, backed up Chase.
So 1st and 10 at the 46, and another bad snap that gets away from the Hippos, and having to fall on it is Mackay way back. They were running that wildcat.
Well,
back at the 33.
they tried to run kind of that, what everybody refers to as that Philly special. You know, Grayson steps up and acts like he's changing the play, kind of looks off to his left, and they try to catch the other team off guard and snap it to Mackay, send it behind him. But, Mackay's not used to taking that snap, and obviously he's had issues catching the ball.
The Hippos have struggled enough just running their normal plays, and then they're trying to run some of these little, not trick plays, but just plays that are a little unique, and that's going to be an offside. Should be a free play for Grayson, throwing deep right side.
You're going to give him a chance.
Yeah, overthrows into the Hippo bench, intended for Josh Gonzalez. It's going to be an offsides against Shadow Creek. But, yeah, it's like, as much as you've struggled just running the plays you've been running all year, and now you're starting to try to run these plays that you've probably put in the last week or two, and you just, against a team like Shadow Creek, you just, fundamentals just at least
fundamentals haven't been cutting it at this
things.
point. So I guess you kind of figure why not? And a lot of these plays they've probably had in the bag for a while and just haven't used them all season. And at this point, what are you saving them for next season? So
yeah, trying to set up a little screen pass, and Grayson overthrows, intended for Mackay Kimball. Had it set up, I think, if Grayson, but Grayson had to throw it high because he had a couple of sharks in his face.
And I think he actually got that ball tipped. I think he, like you said, he had a couple of guys in his face and tried to throw it high. I think they tipped it up a little bit, and boy, lucky. A lot of times you see those balls tipped like that, and those get taken back for 6. Hey, one positive: no defensive touchdowns tonight.
Not yet. 11:02 to go in the ball game. Hippos trail at 49-14. Third down, and they need a lot. Grayson rolling to his right, throwing, caught, but only pickup of about 4 or 5 yards. Going to give him the 42-yard line. And the Hippos will roll their punt team out.
Why?
Yeah. Well, here, I think when you see this, when you roll your punt team out with 10:30 to go in the ball game, you're trailing 49-14. You've pretty much said, "Hey, we're just going to kind of play this one all straight up from this point on."
Yeah, but why? I know that happens all the time.
Brody.
I never understand it.
Line drop punt, fair caught, and running out of bounds with it was number 16, Ventrell Bruno.
Got a flag coming late.
Might have gotten hit after he called
Well, the
that
official
fair
was standing
catch.
on the sideline and then threw it way back into the field of play. Maybe we might have a hold or blocking the back or something over there, and he just didn't have – he had to signal end of time. You know, he had a lot of things going on and was just late getting that flag out maybe. I don't know. Be interested to see.
Well, they're huddled up talking about it.
I think they're going to march it off towards the Hippos
I
side.
think this officiating crew –
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the receiving team.
Oh.
15-yard penalty, first down.
They didn't give us a number, but unsportsmanlike against Shadow Creek. Well, he was I saw Jason Vogelpohl holding the ball there kind of after it was all said and done, and it was almost like an official was waiting for him to give the ball back, and I saw Coach Mosley telling him to give him the ball back. So when he said unsportsmanlike conduct, I just assumed it was going to be Jason, but it wasn't. So Shadow Creek will take over 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line, snap back. Keeping it is Doles and gets forward to the 25. Drones. Kyron Drones. Second down, 4 yards needed for the Sharks. 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter and pretty much in the season for the Hippos. Now a flag flies as the teams are just standing there lined up before the play ever starts. Had to be some jawing going on, and Amir Ward is –
I think maybe they're going to get these teams together and, hey, you guys need to cool it. Yeah.
I think they are. A little bit of talking going on. And if you're the Hippos, you don't really need to be doing much talking when you're down 49-14.
Well, and I think it's, like you said, it's coming from Amir, and I think he's starting to set in that, you know, this is his last high school football game, and I'd be surprised if we see him back in this game.
Yeah, Amir comes out. Now another Hippo. That one goes against Amir, and they give him the 15 right back.
Well.
Yeah, and obviously you never know. When we're up here and we don't know what all's going on down there, what's being said, but officials are close enough to it to not like it, and one way you stop it is you throw flags.
Well, and they know that at this point in the game, things could get out of hand quick, and I think any little thing they can find to say, hey, we're still in charge, they're gonna let them know.
So first down, ball at the 40-yard line. Drone hands off to Brown. Bounces off of a tackle of Vogelpohl, and he's got the left sideline. And he could take this one all the way to the 15, to the 10, and run out of bounds at the 4-yard line. Boy, Jason Vogelpohl hit him in the backfield. Looked like it was going to be a 2 or 3 yard loss, but he didn't wrap him up, and he just bounced right off of it. Got that left sideline and just sprinted, as most of these Sharks do, and was finally pushed out of bounds at the 4-yard line. And Shadow Creek will have first and goal at the 4-yard line, 9:33 to go in the ball game, leading 49-14. Brown in the backfield with Drones. So there's a little fullback going to run a little pitch to the right side. Brown keeps it pushing forward and carries Landon Watson on his back into the end zone for the Shadow Creek touchdown. How many times you say that? A running back carries Landon Watson on his back.
That was strange to see.
So touchdown, Shadow Creek, 9:26 to go, and that lead is now 55-14 with the point after attempt to come. Well, I tell you what, this score, when people around the state see the score, of course, Hutto ranked number 9 in the state, and, you know, a lot of folks, they don't know the situation Hutto is with all of the injuries, and that this really isn't the Hippo team that is the 9th-ranked team in the state. But they see this score, and you think some folks aren't going to really start looking at Shadow Creek saying,
well, and I'm not aware. Who is considered number 1 in Class 5A?
I think it's Lone Star, Frisco.
Boy. I mean,
And those regions, so they could match up in the state championship.
They're in
game.
Highland Park region.
They are,
okay.
yeah. Which is who beat obviously Shadow Creek last year in the
Right.
state championship game. You know, Shadow Creek would probably love to see Highland Park again. After
would think
a
so.
5-yard penalty against Shadow Creek, the snap is back. Hold down, kick is up and good. 9:26 to go in the ball game. It's now Shadow Creek 56, Hutto 14. Listening to Hutto Hippo Football on hipposports.com.
The Hutto Hippos 14.
Meet Josh.
Hi, everybody.
Josh is a high school basketball player, solid shooter, great teammate.
Hey, don't forget my tenacious D.
And he's my son.
Oh.
So, what does Josh do to be the best basketball player he can be?
I play tennis.
Studies show that student athletes here in Texas who play more than one high school sport are more likely to excel. Tennis does more than improve Josh's conditioning. It gives him a fresh competitive outlet, reduces the risk of injury by cross-training, and introduces him to different coaching techniques and new friends.
Don't get me wrong, hoops are my first love. Tennis just gives me a little break.
So when the new season begins, Josh isn't burned out on basketball. He's eager to play, and you can see the difference in his game.
This message presented by the Texas University Interscholastic League and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
9:26 to go in the ball game and in the Hippos season. They trail at 56-14 here at Waller ISD Stadium. Shadow Creek just punched it in from 4 yards out after a long run by Calvin Brown. Set it up. Start giving you some other playoff scores from around the state here in just a little bit. It's a deep kick going to be fielded at the 10-yard line by the Hippos. Travis Taylor trying to get away from a couple of Sharks, crosses the 25, his ankle tackled down at the 27-yard line.
That was probably the first really successful special teams. I wouldn't say successful, but better than average, I guess.
It all ended up positive.
I don't know. Yeah.
It ended positive.
Trying to find the silver lining.
You know, it's just as you hate watching them against your team, but this Shadow Creek team, I got to tell you, there's something else to watch.
Boy, they are, and you watch them and you're not convinced that they're only playing with 11 guys on defense.
Right.
I mean, you know what I mean? It's like no matter where that ball is, every single guy is there. And
Doggett fumbles the snap, falls on it.
Boy, story of the game.
Just mistake after mistake.
Yeah. We were mentioning Frisco Lone Star earlier. They're up 45-28 on College Station with about 5 minutes left in that game. Obviously, College Station is a team that we're very familiar with. Probably one of the better, more exciting games in Hutto playoff history was against College Station at home.
Maybe Texas high school history.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to beat. Mention, Maynard is
Doggett swings a pass out of the backfield to Makai Kimball, run out of bounds at the 29-yard line.
Maynard is dominating Porter High School, so Maynard will go on to play. I guess they'll play the winner of Cedar Park and Friendswood, right?
Friendswood.
Yep.
They're down 9 yards needed for the Hippos. Ball at the 29-yard line. 8:35 to go in the ball game, trailing 56-14.
That Cedar Park Friendswood game tomorrow is at NRG Stadium.
Yeah.
So
be an interesting game to watch.
Yeah.
Heavy pressure on Doggett, scrambling to his right, looking to throw, still looking. He's got a man at midfield at the 40 and all the way down to the 35-yard line.
Gary Choice.
Was Gary Choice. Good job by Grayson, rolled to his right, and as he was doing that, Gary Choice was dragging across the field, and Grayson found him, and Choice takes it all the way down to the 35. That's a fellow that we'll see for 3 more years after this.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's a connection that we'll get to see a lot of.
Good choice by Grayson to throw to him. You knew I was going to say it. Hand off to Makai Kimball. Still fighting across the 30 down to the 28-yard line.
Makai's still having fun out there. You know, it's his last game, but he's out there dancing on the sidelines, and you know, it is sad, but it's nice when those guys have a little bit of perspective, and he's still having a good time, you know. So
2nd down, 4 yards needed for Hutto. Snap back, hand off to Mackay. Starts middle, turns back left. Slung down at the 26-yard line. Going to be 2 yards short of the first down. Yeah, well, and in some ways, in a game like this where you're looking at the score and you know that it's done, might be a little bit easier than one of those just heartbreakers at the end. 3rd down and 2. Ball at the 26. Hippos need the 24-yard line. Keep this one going. 7:15 to go in the ball game. Trailing 56-14. Nothing else. Maybe you could be a team that puts more points than anybody else has. Grayson, heavy pressure, sacked, fumbled, picked up by the Sharks. Running this one back, and that should have been a block in the back. Cuts back to his left, and it's going to be there's your defensive touchdown of the game.
Well,
tell you, Grayson went back to throw. He was hit, ball bobbled.
Well, it was a bobbled snap. It threw the timing off, and it's similar play to what we saw against Cedar Park. You know, he just never saw it coming, gets blindsided right as he's about to throw that football, and that ball just squirts loose, and next thing you know, they're running it back for 6.
Yeah, number 29, Bo Burns picked it up. He just got the perfect hop, too.
Yep.
Took one bounce, bounced up to his arms. There was one hippo that was chasing and one shark that was blocking, and it looked like he had shoved the hippo in the back, but didn't get that call. Burns turned it back to the left and just took it all the way in. And once again, they score a defensive touchdown. They average 1 defensive touchdown per game. They've played 12 games and 12 defensive touchdowns. So 6:54 to go in the ball game. It's now Shadow Creek 63, Hutto 14. You're listening to Hutto Hippo Football on hipposports.com and the SHN Sports Network.
Since 1972, Longhorn Title is committed to serving the real estate needs of Williamson County. Our owners live here, work here, and support local charities and schools. At Longhorn Title, we're large enough to serve, but small enough to care. Visit longhorntitle.com for more information. Go Hippos!
Well, coming into the game, we mentioned that Shadow Creek had scored 11 defensive touchdowns. They had played 11 games, so obviously they were averaging 1 defensive touchdown per game. And a few minutes ago, Ryan said the positive was that they hadn't scored a defensive touchdown. Well, they have now.
Positive thing is they've only scored 1 defensive touchdown.
Yeah. So they maintain their average.
Our offense has outscored their defense, which is something a lot of teams can't say this year against them.
Good
so
point.
There's a positive.
There you go.
Yep. Always finding the silver lining in things. It's my specialty.
You've had to search long and hard tonight to find the silver linings.
They've been more gray than silver.
Yeah. Hippos trying to return the kick and can't get it back to the 20-yard line. I was looking for their
some more
their schedule.
Well,
so they
I know they've shut 3 teams out.
The only team that has scored more than 14 points was Foster, and they scored 17. So let's try to be the team that at least scores the most points on them this year. We need to get another touchdown in order to do that. Of course, flip side of that is
and we can see Brody Bueno here at quarterback.
There's 3 teams that they've scored at least 63 on. So we're not in that boat alone. Yeah, Brody Bueno is in at quarterback. Running a little option to the right side. Brody going to keep it. And
it's not an option.
Yeah. Tackled at the 19-yard line. Yeah, Brody, I guarantee you, Brody, what he wants to do, he just wants to run over somebody. He's obviously not going to run away from anybody, so he just wants to find somebody and try to run over them.
Well, I don't think there's very many people he's going to run over tonight either.
He'll try. Empty backfield for Brody. 2 receivers right.
I don't think there's any fear.
3 receivers left. Looking over, getting a play call from the sideline. 6:10 to go in the ball game. This clock runs slow.
Slow moving.
Snap back. He's going to keep it on a quarterback draw across the 25. Cuts back to his left. Hang on to the ball. Tackled at the 26-yard line. Going to be about a yard short of the first down, I think. They give him forward progress up to the 27.
Well, this ref on our side, I think, is about a yard behind.
The one on the far side?
Yeah, it's going to be 3rd and short.
Yeah, they mark it at the 26. They need the 27. Hey, just come back with that same play again. Brody, the very large freshman.
Yes, he is.
Who is not afraid of – he's not afraid that there's a bunch of D1 guys over there on the other side facing him.
Doesn't matter.
Snap back. Handoff. Moving forward. Good job to continue to plow forward, get the first down near the 30-yard line. And that was Mackay. Yeah, Mackay's still in. Mackay Kimball.
Going to miss him next year. That's for
yeah,
sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. The Hippos certainly have some offensive guys coming back, but there's going to be some real question marks too.
Well, just kind of like there was going to be this year. Obviously from last year's team, losing so many key guys, Caleb Forrest, DJ Baptiste, Chase Griffin, Chooks, Wubuko. This will be the 3rd year in a row that we've kind of had to reload.
Brody swings a pass right side and run out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Nice job. Caught by Jared Bealey. Brody gets rid of that ball quickly.
He does. He gets it out there in a hurry, too. He zips it around.
Nice looking arm.
Kind of amazing. We were talking about the kind of the good matchups that happened in the second round of the playoffs. The two teams that met in the
Another pass complete to Bealey at the 37-yard line, going to be about 2 yards short of the first.
Two teams that met in the 5A or 6A Division II championship game last year.
North Shore?
No, not North Shore. Longview and Westbrook. Both those teams lost tonight in the second round of the playoffs, which is kind of amazing.
So no return.
No return for either of them. Meanwhile, North Shore and Duncanville are both
be nice
easily going to move on to the
third
round.
Be interesting if they had a rematch.
Boy, what a
option running to the right side. Brody keeps it, breaks a couple of tackles, and has the first down out near the 45-yard line. Going to mark it at the 44.
Yeah, let's just call that a quarterback sweep.
No intent of pitching.
I don't think he knows how. Yeah, no, what an amazing game. We were there for that game last year, and boy, talk about you look at
high
this
school football game.
You look at this team we're playing tonight, and boy, the athletes they have don't even just pale in comparison to those two teams.
Game.
My goodness,
it was crazy. Brody throwing deep, middle, incomplete, intended for Josh. Josh looked like he was trying to do a little turn in over on the far side, and Brody overthrows him. Yeah, I mean, I remember that game when those kids from both teams, North Shore and Duncanville, came out without their pads on and their little tight,
It legitimately was like watching a college football game.
It really was.
I think we counted 35 Division I athletes between the two of them.
Yep. There's a few on this field tonight, too.
There are a few.
For Shadow Creek, and the Hippos have a couple themselves. Of course, one of those, Landon Watson, will be returning. interesting because Landon, of course, defensive end for Hutto is committed to LSU, and North Shore, Shadow Creek has a defensive end that's also committed to LSU.
Yeah, he'll be there a year ahead of him. Well, and also, they've got a defensive back not playing tonight. Xavier Alford is committed to UT. He's a senior this year, so he'll be out there with Dejan. A lot of people think maybe Dejan might do a little defensive back out down in Austin instead of playing receiver. So those two could be.
Again, we can't overstate how tough it is to have not had Dejan tonight and not had Lord's Will and Jay Lambert. Handoff goes to Kai Kimball. He's brought down for about a yard loss. Going to be 4th down. Hippos going to need about 6 yards. Minute 55 to go, and Brody will step back from his quarterback position and back into punt situation.
Okay. I mean,
well, Hippos right now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys on the field, so they're not going to be able to get this punt off before the play clock runs down. Probably just take the delay, or they're going to call timeout. Brad calls the timeout with minute 25, 24.
I mean,
play clock's still going, which is good.
Shoot, why not? Why not go for it? You know, like, don't get it, and odds are Shadow Creek takes a knee anyway, you know, so.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's what they're talking about. Maybe Brad's got them huddled over there saying, guys, y'all want to give it one last shot, or who knows? Maybe he's letting them decide. Kai Kimball's still out on the field. Vogelpool. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you think back to the beginning of the season, and we kind of thought, hey, this might be a rebuilding year. You know, we're kind of young, but then you go down the roster and you look out on the field, and it's like, well, he's a senior. It's there's a lot of guys that we're going to be missing next year. And I know we were saying the same thing last year, but boy, it just seems like there are even more of them this year.
Yeah, I think part of that though is some of these seniors are. We'll let Brody do this punt, and then we'll kind of finish that thought. Punt away and punt it out of bounds. Was that Bryce that made the catch?
Yeah, Hayden was calling for a fair catch. Bryce didn't catch it, though.
Bryce didn't catch it?
No.
Oh, did he drop? Did he muff it?
No, he stuck his foot out.
I'm going to tell him. I'm going to text him and say, Drew, if Drew can catch a ball, you can too.
Say, Drew would have caught that one-handed.
That's funny.
Hey, I told you we would never hear the end of that. He's brought it up to me. I can't even tell you how many times in the last 2 weeks.
Texting Bryce right now, telling him Drew would have caught that. Yeah, I think, again, you know, you mentioned before this season started, there were some folks that said, hey, this might be a decent Hippo team. Just they've built a program. Others, like they've lost Chase. They've lost, you know, lots of receivers. And they're playing in a district that's, you know, good district, yada, yada, yada. I think these Hippos themselves, coaches and the players, they believed in themselves from the very beginning. And sure enough, they pulled off a great season and really were, in all honesty, they were one play away from going undefeated and winning district again over Cedar Park.
Yeah, and then you do that, and who knows? Who knows what happens in the playoffs?
And you had the injuries, right? I mean, it's just one of those things where you're like, you've got not only you get that heartbreaking loss, but you get the injuries with Lordsville and Dejan and Jay Lambert and some other guys, and it's just one of those things that, you know, the Hippos for the last year, they were they pretty much avoided the injury bug this year. They were just snake bit, and Bryce said his hands were too cold and he didn't have any gloves. And he wasn't carrying a camera in his other hand.
He was bragging about how good it felt down there earlier.
So, yeah, I think as the clock ticks off, the teams are already meeting at midfield before the last second ticks off. So our final score tonight is going to be 63-14. And, you know, just to recap all of this, I think you look back, and if someone had told you before the season started, hey, this Hippo team is going to finish second in district, they're going to only lose one game, and then they're going to make it to the second round of the playoffs, I think there's a lot of folks that would have said, hey, that's a good year. But I think we've built something here. We've built a culture. We've built a program. We've built expectations. And when I say we, that's Brad. That's the coaching staff. Even goes before Brad. Van obviously started that. And I think that it's one of those things that we should have higher expectations than we used to have. And we shouldn't be surprised that this team is really, you know, they've lost now 3 games in the last 2 years.
Right.
You know, those are things that shouldn't surprise us, and we shouldn't be surprised next year when we have other kids that are going to come off of JV. Some of them are already on varsity, but you have other kids that are going to come off of JV. They're going to step up, and they're just going to fill those spots, and they might be doing it at the 6A level too.
Right, and it's just part of the culture, and it all goes back, you know, they see the older guys winning, they see how they work, they see how they practice, they see how they watch film. You know, everything is they just learn from them, and when you're learning from guys that are winning, you learn how to do things right for the most part, and you know, that's kind of the biggest thing. You see those winning programs, it's like, well, how are they just constantly rebuilding, and it's like, well, it starts at the bottom,
yeah,
and
it starts at the low level. It starts down even before middle school, right? I mean, you get coaches like Brad that get it, right? That they begin to get connected with the youth leagues and building relationships with those kids and those parents. Those little kids are watching, you know, the big Hippos win and be successful, and they want to grow up and do that. And you know, and then in middle school they begin to work hard to know that someday they're going to be playing on Friday night. And you know, and Hutto just keeps on growing, and as you grow, you keep adding athletes and keep adding players. And it all comes down to, ultimately, it's the players. They've got to be willing to work hard to do the off-season stuff, to put the time in the locker or in the weight rooms, to, you know, and for the most part, these kids do that. I think, you know, one of the things that this team probably during the year suffered from a little bit was not having that leader that really stepped up, and that was one of the concerns from the very beginning with Brad was who's going to be the leader, who's going to, you know, and sometimes you have that, sometimes you don't. Last year, Hippos really had it. This year, you know, some of those leaders were some guys who maybe got hurt, didn't finish the season. But, you know, I want to run down the list of seniors that you know, we just want to give a shout out to, and some of these guys are going to be playing somewhere else next year, and then some of them are kind of like you know, every year Facebook reminds me of that picture when you and I were standing at the middle of the field after you played your last football game, and I told you, hey, high school football's fun, and you'll have great memories, and you feel like it's all over with, but it's really all just beginning. And
well, isn't that true?
Yeah, and then you'll go on and do great things. And so for some of these kids, they've played their last football game. You know, their only football from now on might be intramurals in college, or you know, something like that. So, but let me just run down that list of seniors that the Hippos are certainly gonna miss next year, but will always represent Hippo Nation. Xavier Phoenix, Dejon Harrison, of course, lost Dejon, you know, so sadly in that last regular season game with that broken ankle right after he had committed to UT. But I know everybody's going to be excited to see what he does for the Longhorns in a few years, and you know, we know he'll heal up. But boy, did we miss him the last couple of weeks. Travis Taylor, Trey Pinelli, what a great leader Trey's been in terms of just being that guy who would always step up and make a catch when you needed it, and just a great representative of Hippo Nation. Jared Bealey filled such a great role this year. You know, he switched from being a backup quarterback to really a go-to guy, receiver. Josh Gonzalez made so many clutch catches during the season. Of course, Brock Bueno, who was one of the heart and souls of the Hippo defense, who went out with that knee halfway through the season, just crushing to see Brock not be able to finish his senior year. Amir Ward, part of that outstanding defensive line for the Hippos that just was living in other teams' backfield. Tyler Kelly had a great senior year, called his name so many times. Now he gets to get ready for baseball season, and you know, he's a stud on the baseball field. Jordan Phoenix, Xavier's twin brother. You know, I know that's sad for Andrea and Alfred to have watched their twins play their last football game, but what a great season those two had, and got to do it together and go out together. Of course, Makai Kimball, you know, he's so fun to watch and just fun to be around, and you know, had to play 2 or 3, 4 games without him during the season with that broken hand when he came back from it. You know, he was kind of handicapped a little bit trying to catch passes, but he was special. Jason Vogelpool, wow, just a kid that would, tackle a dump truck if he needed to. And wouldn't be afraid to do it.
Get up and talk a little bit of smack to it.
And then would talk to the dump truck. But again, another one that we'll see him on the baseball field. Hippos. Some of these kids are going to bring some glory to the Hippo baseball team in the spring. It's going to be a fun baseball team. So Davian Robinson had some big plays. Of course, a big highlight interception a couple of weeks ago. Connor Wilson. Who else? Javier Preciado, Justin McHorse, Logan Tipton, just one of those solid kids on the offensive line who just works and works and works. Alexander Velasquez, he was one of our players of the week for the coaches show one time. Mekhi Proctor, who just really missed a lot of the season, got a concussion early on, offensive lineman, just had to miss most of the year. And, of course, Lordsville, who just heartbreaking, went down a few weeks before the end of the season, right after he had made a commitment to Houston Baptist University, tore up his knee and couldn't finish the year. But I know he's already had successful surgery. I think maybe he hadn't had successful surgery or had surgery yet. But
yeah, he was getting a third opinion, I believe.
Going back and forth. But talk about just a great kid and a leader that on and off the football field, just in life, and if there's ever anybody I've known that has lived up to their name, it's Lordsville. It's like the pressure that would be on you if your name is Lordsville.
That's a tough one to live up to.
But boy, has he done that, and I know he will the rest of his senior year. He's just one of those guys that. Wow, so proud to have him representing Hippo Nation. So, those are our seniors, but lots of guys are going to be back. Grayson Doggett had a great year at quarterback, thrown into there as a sophomore after, had to follow the great Chase Griffin, who had, probably all-time great quarterback at Hutto and out at UCLA right now. And always going to be pressure on the guy that has to follow the great, and Grayson stepped in and did such a great job and learned so much, and now he's going to be back for 2 years, and nothing next year is going to be new to him. It's all going to be, he's going to be the guy.
Well, we talked about it too. It's, Chase's first year, I think we went 5-5 and lost in the first round of playoffs, and look how far he came, and it's exciting to see what we do have coming back in Grayson and some of those guys that are surrounding him.
Yeah, and you look at some of these kids that are coming back they're not coming back as seniors. They're coming back. Grayson's coming back as a junior. Obviously Brody's going to come back as a sophomore. And the irony is he had to move up because his brother got hurt.
Right.
And so what irony. Gary Choice, just a freshman, 3 more years with him. Landon Watson, of course, will be back for another year.
Hey, both of our kickers, only sophomores.
That's right. Both kickers will be back. Jay Lambert will be back. Braylon Sugg will be a senior. There's a lot of folks. Michael Mason will have a couple more years.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of folks coming back. And
Felix Torres.
Absolutely,
freshman.
On the line.
Yeah.
And,
Seth Aguirre, he was another guy that was a player of the week for us on the offensive line.
Yep. And, and a lot of these kids, they also have – we got other kids that are down on the JV or even freshman team right now that are going to step up and be playing on Friday night. So, it's hardly going to be bare cupboard for the Hippos come next year. But this one ends, obviously too early because they all end too early if you don't make it to the final game. But only 2 teams ever do that. So Hippos, I think there's no question they've had a successful season, finished 9-2, of course 11-1 last year. So they're 20-3 over the last 2 years, and then if you take that back, the year before that, there's something like 33-4. It's been a great it's a great program the Hippos are building, and Brad LaPlante, I just can't say enough about Brad and what he does for Hippo Nation, what he does not only for our football team, for our entire athletic program, but for our school district. He just does the right things, and and he expects the right things from kids. And, you know, football's important, and he wants to win football, but for Brad it starts with character and kids making the right decisions and holding them accountable and you know, getting their grades. And, you know, he doesn't cut any corners, and he's one of the most organized type A people that
yes,
I've ever known, but he's also a great friend, and I'm proud to work with him and a lot of the coaching staff. Well, unfortunately, we don't have, because of our sideline mic situation, we don't have Bryce to get the final words from him. I know it's been a very interesting season for him, you know, making the move from up here down to the sidelines and having his youngest son step up and be the starting quarterback for the Hippos here as a sophomore. So Bryce will have fun watching Grayson 2 more years. And, you know, I know his attention will now turn to baseball as well. Grayson's another one of those that baseball will roll out in about a month and a half, and Grayson will be out there doing great things for the Hippo baseball team. So tell you what, athletics for upcoming few months for the Hippos are going to be a lot of fun. Basketball team's off to a great start. They could be special this year. Baseball team's going to be really good. Girls basketball, certainly softball. You had the two. You got the two LSU guys.
Landon and Alec Bryant down there getting a picture from Tim Walter.
Tim Walter taking a picture of the two LSU fellas. That's pretty cool. Yeah, they're like giving that a hug and say, "Hey, see you in college in 2 years, bro."
Yeah,
that's fun.
Glad we don't have to play each other.
Yeah, right. Well, final score again tonight from Waller is Hippos were on the bad end of the opposite end of a score they're kind of used to putting on people, but they were beaten soundly by a very, very good Shadow Creek Sharks team. Final score 63-14. We wish Shadow Creek best of luck. You know, we go to the state championship games every year, and I say without question, I really hope that team is playing in the championship game because I want to watch them. And you always want the team that beats you to be the team that goes on, and because at least you can say you got beat by the team that was the best. So I look forward to watching those guys play, whoever it is. They might play the rest of the way. Hard to imagine anybody's going to beat them, but there's somebody out there that probably thinks they can and can if they do all the right things. It's been a fun year for Bryce down on the sidelines. Can't say goodbye to him, but we appreciate all that he did, and Gage, appreciate all that you did doing the engineering. And, Ryan, it's been a lot of fun having you up here in the booth next to me. And I think we've gotten a lot of comments from folks that they can tell we have a lot of fun doing this together. So
yes, we do.
I'm glad you're back home and teaching at Hutto High School and being able to come alongside your dad to call the football games.
Let's do it again next year.
We will do it again next year. Well, for everybody else, for all the Hippos that are driving home, be safe. Everybody back at home, have a great Thanksgiving break. Rest, relax, be safe if you travel. And we'll be back with Hippo Sports. We might do some basketball games, and certainly we'll communicate all those things through our Hippo Sports Facebook page. It's been a great year for the Hippos. It ends with a 63-14 loss to the Shadow Creek Sharks. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving and a happy New Year when it rolls around in about a month. Good night.